Welcome back to another episode of Enter the Nerdom. It's our... Hold on, you know what? Doing that over. Welcome to another Oscar special of Enter the Nerdom, where we will be covering everything and all stuff Oscar related, even the hot dog. Right? Am I right? No? Okay, I'm here with my hosts.
The hot dog?
Yeah, Oscar Mayer.
Oscar Mayer.
Jeez.
The Oscar Mayer Award.
Come on. I got these high quality jokes here.
I'm Stan Warncini.
I'm Watson Bradshaw.
And I'm, Chad Cook.
Oscar Mayer.
Oscar winner. Future Oscar winner.
Future Oscar winner.
Right.
And the award goes to...
Me?
No, Judi Dench.
Oh, that
beats
bitch.
you again.
That
Dame Judi Dench.
Dame.
Sorry, that dame.
That damn Dame. Wins again. We have a special guest.
Yes. Oh, no, you go. You go.
No, you go.
No, you go.
All right.
I already did my thing. You do your thing.
Well, it's our second year of Oscar predictions, so of course we had to bring out the big guns. Our movie expert, the one, the only,
Justin Dorris.
Yay! Woo, woo.
And
Welcome
as
back.
as you can see, we're our hot mics plugged in,
Yes.
ready to go
Yes, absolutely.
from
Absolutely, yeah. Because I did catch that the mics were
You
not
did.
plugged in.
You did.
So
You
I didn't
did.
catch it the first time.
Yeah,
But this time I did.
I won't hold it on you.
That's right.
Yeah,
Look,
Exactly.
as a podcast, we're growing.
we grow. We're people. We're
Yes.
humans.
Yes.
We're learning.
Stick your hand in the Dune.
Oh,
Don't tempt me.
We have a Dune
that's where you
popcorn
get
bucket.
the water of life.
Yeah, so we have a Dune popcorn bucket on the table here. The sandworm special. It's pretty cool. Watson had never seen it. He was sticking his hand down in there.
I was surprised how soft it was on the inside.
I thought you bought one.
No,
When did you buy one?
I unfortunately.
How much
they
was it?
sold out.
Yeah, they did sell out.
They
I bought two of
sold
them.
out.
Yeah.
How much were they?
I
You
think they were
freaks out
$25
there.
a piece.
Wait, what?
Freaks.
$25.
$25, really?
Yeah.
That thing's huge for $25.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can get refills.
Jeez.
So.
Do they make you keep the cap on to refill?
No, they make you take it off.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I bought two.
It'd be really hard to.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
pour
I
popcorn
thought.
in
It takes
there,
like,
yeah.
I got to get back in the theater.
Oh God.
So it takes. I bought two, and then I took one to the theater, and the lady was like, "I can't touch it because health and safety and
Yeah.
reasons."
And you'd be like, I don't mind.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
stare right
She-
in the
Touch my
eyes.
sandworm.
I felt bad because she had an actual she had to get a popcorn bucket, like a regular one, and pour
Put
it
it
in. inside
it.
Yeah, like I had to take the cap off,
Oh.
obviously, but it spilled all over the place, so I made a fucking mess, and I was like,
Jeez.
"I'm so sorry, I'm just making a mess over here." There was like popcorn all over the counter.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
I've seen there's a lot of people upset with the Ghostbusters Slimer popcorn bucket. You
Yeah.
seen this?
Why?
Yeah.
So I think it's AMC are doing it.
No, it's Cinemark.
Cinemark. Okay,
Yeah.
and they put out promotional pictures. And it was like this semi-translucent Slimer, and what their people are actually getting, or it doesn't look anything like they promoted.
Yeah.
Looks like trash.
Yeah,
Really?
pretty much.
If anything, you want to get
a little
the
mad.
AMC. It's a trap.
Yeah.
Where it what holds it is the rays from the trap,
and
it glows up.
Regal just put out their version. It's the trap again,
Yeah.
but it actually has LEDs in it.
Yeah.
So it lights
Wait, I
up.
thought
Yeah,
the AMC had the LEDs in there.
I know Regal does. I don't know about AMC.
Maybe I'm mixing
I
them
thought
up.
the AMC did one too. The AMC one looks great. Yeah.
It's like a pink. Like what color is Regal's like?
I think they just have the flashing red light.
Oh, it's
on
red.
there.
Oh, it's just. Oh, okay. So yeah.
Not
then-
from the inside, but it's like on the trap itself.
Oh, okay. AMC has the.
It's just a good time to be a geek.
Yeah,
yeah.
seriously.
If you
Although
want
I-
fun popcorn buckets.
I wouldn't want to sit next to somebody who has the lights on.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know, because
Eating
I
through a
got
trap.
I got for Black Panther 2.
Guess what?
I got a popcorn bucket and it had flashing blue lights, and I was like, I got to turn this thing off.
Drive you crazy.
Guess who's
Yeah.
gonna sit next to you with my lit up bucket, and then I'm like, hey, I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
I know you won't because I know you're respectful in theaters.
You do, yeah.
You got him there.
You got me.
Yeah,
Especially for seeing the movie for the first time. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
gonna-
Second time, however.
Second time.
Second time.
Gloves
Oh
are
my
off,
God.
baby.
Oh, yeah. Phone comes out.
Oh God.
What?
Don't be
Who?
those people.
Yeah, I know,
No.
seriously.
Yeah.
I can't stand. And when I was watching
Karate
Dune
chops.
2, there was a guy in there who was checking his phone every now and again. I mean, it it was a couple rows down, and it was turned down low enough, but you could still see it out of the corner of your eye, and
Well, people that take like full conversations,
right?
and they're watching a movie and they're talking on the phone. I'm
Seriously.
like, what the hell are you doing?
What are you? Yeah, exactly.
Trash people. I tell you.
People. They should be eaten up by a sandworm.
There you go.
Or no, yeah, like in Sri Lanka, you just get caned on your hand. Be like, put that away. You know.
In Sri Lanka, they do that.
I think it was Sri Lanka. Yeah.
But in the theater.
Well, no.
Wow.
I'm saying
That's hardcore.
I'm saying we bring that. It's more for thievery.
Oh, yeah.
in Sri Lanka,
Get caned.
Yeah, they get canned. But we'll bring that to the
You mean
theater.
Singapore?
Yeah. We're nerds. We're not. We're not those kinds of nerds, okay?
Yeah.
But
Geography, schmography.
yeah, who cares? We were all Pangea once,
That's
right?
True. That's true.
Um,
One people.
but I'm saying we bring that to the West, to our theaters. And not for thievery, but for using your phone.
Before you get caned.
Yeah, you
I
just
agree.
You get brought up in front of the movie. We pause it, and you
wow.
get caned in front of everybody.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
Wow.
good. And you
Public
get kicked
shaming.
Public
out. We
shaming.
need to
Bring
bring
it
that
back.
back.
Yeah.
And you get kicked out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Or put in stocks.
You get to choose. You get to get kicked out, or you get caned.
You get caned. There you go.
Yeah, you'll see the determined people who's like, "No, I'm staying."
I
Yeah.
really want to see how this goes.
Dune 2. We all saw it.
I believe the title is Tune.
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 They didn't put a 2 before the Dune, though.
I know. They
Yeah,
should have been.
I don't know what that is.
Dune.
But
To Dune?
I got to see it twice. Thanks in
Twice
part to
Dune?
Justin.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I saw it in 7mm at IMAX. It was amazing.
Mm.
Thank you, Justin, for that.
Yeah, no
For
problem.
giving up the tickets. Appreciate that. Dune 2, what'd you guys think?
I mean, amazing. I loved it. I loved it. I mean, I'm a fan of the books. I'm a fan of the whole universe, the world of it. I think you've got a filmmaker who is, from what I've been hearing, he's been like,
Denis Villeneuve?
he's been storyboarding this movie since he was a teenager. Like,
Yeah, he's
been
wanted
wanting
to
this
do a
forever.
movie forever, yeah.
So he's passionate about the project.
Yeah.
He's already like committed to a third one. Like he wants to do Messiah, which is the third book. Or second book,
Yeah.
third movie. Ooh.
That one should be just one film, though, since it's much shorter.
Yeah, and the story itself. Justin, have you read the books or?
I haven't read them, but I know of them
You're
and some
aware
of the
of
differences.
it? Yeah. Because I read up to Children of Dune. And
Which
then,
is-
Oh, you
Which
didn't go
was
the
that?
God Emperor?
No, I read about the God. Like I read parts of like what was happening in there, and I was like, that seems silly. It gets way wacky.
Which, how many books are there?
There's 5 total, I think. 5 or 6.
But
There's-
it ends on a cliffhanger because the
Is it?
author passed away.
Yeah.
But his
Heretic
his
of Dune
son,
is the last one
his son.
that he did.
No, it's Heretics, the 5th one, and then
Mhm.
Chapter House something is the
Okay.
6th one. His son continued the story and concluded it, but supposedly those books weren't as good. But I heard that God Emperor is a good ending point, and that's the 4th
okay.
book.
Okay.
If you don't want a huge cliffhanger, that is.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And Chad?
I thoroughly love the movie. I thought the pacing was great. The visuals, Denis always delivers on visuals for his
Yeah,
movies,
he's
like from Blade
beautiful,
Runner
yeah.
and etc. But everyone performed great. The performances,
Everyone.
yeah, yeah.
Who are you thinking of?
I better not hear a name out of your mouth.
You know the name I'm gonna say.
I know who you probably will be
Who
saying.
was kind of just plopped in the movie?
They didn't give him a lot to work with.
Well, they give all his lines to Florence Pugh, pretty much.
I know. So what are you going to do about, he's
Talking about the Emperor.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Christopher
just
Walken,
if anyone doesn't know.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken, I love Christopher Walken.
Me too.
Just kind of was there.
He didn't really have that.
He's supposed to be the most
charisma.
powerful
Yeah,
man in
exactly.
the universe.
Well, like it because you barely see him in the movie, and then he pops up, and then his best part I felt was in the end when he confronts Paul, and he's like, "Your father was weak," and stuff, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Where was this
The whole time.
right.
Exactly.
But like we needed to see more of him throughout the movie to
Yeah.
get more of that. You can't just throw one line at him and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I know. I just wish that wish they fleshed out that character a little
No,
more.
I did. I agree.
more.
I agree.
And same with Chani. I think they kind of did her a disservice in this
Which
movie.
one?
Zendaya.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In the book, she's a little bit more aware of the plans that are going to go forward, and she actually is on when Paul is like, I'm going to have to marry the Emperor's daughter. Like she's aware of it.
Well, I mean,
spoiler warning.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, if for
No, we're gonna
a
spoil
book from
it.
1970s.
Spoiler
Just
alert.
kidding.
Yeah.
All good.
No, but there's they kind of they gave her a lot. I think they gave her a lot to do in the middle of the movie, where she was more of the free thinker stuff.
Yeah.
Where she's like, I don't believe in the destiny and all this, and then they kind of put her out to pasture at the end of the movie, and I was just like, that's a weird way to go with it.
well, I think they want to build a little more conflict with for the third movie.
Yeah, because in the books, she pretty much becomes Paul's concubine.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
This one, she's a little more rebellious, thinks
Right.
on her own.
But that's what I'm
and
like.
the ending of the film does really put to question how close they're going to be with the Dune Messiah book. 'Cause
Right.
if she's not present,
It changes
that could really
everything,
really changes the
Yeah.
second book and what happens there.
Yeah.
It'll probably cut back and forth between her and him, doing their own, and then probably coming back together to, be a couple again.
Possibly.
No, that's
There's I mean
there would be a lot of explaining needed.
yeah, it's an interesting place to put them comparatively to where the books end at this point, because they're very much a unit by the end. By the end of the first book, they're very much in league with each other, which leads into Dune Messiah, where she is kind of at Paul's side all the time. Even though he is in this arranged marriage, he is with Chani. That's his love.
Yeah.
Right. Now,
Um,
she accepts that he's
Yeah, well, it's kind of the way the universe works.
Right.
Even his mother was never married to Lord, Duke Leto. She was a concubine.
Is
Lady
that
Jessica.
is that the way it was in the movie? Now I can't remember.
Yeah,
I thought somebody called her concubine in the movie.
Yeah. She was never with. That's why, when he dies in the first part of Dune, he's like, I should have married you.
I see.
But
yeah.
because there's no because
right.
he wouldn't have gotten any political gain from marrying her.
Right.
It's all power.
Yeah,
plays,
sure. Well, she's a Betty Jesuit.
Right,
Yeah, so they just
exactly.
kind of. Now, what I didn't get in, go ahead. Sorry, Justin. Go ahead. Yeah, what did you think? What's your take on Dune 2?
No, I really liked it.
Yeah.
Like Chad mentioned, there's a lot of cool visuals. Like that first scene with the Harkonnens.
Harkonnens, yeah.
I was listening to a podcast and they were pronouncing it the way the 80s movie
That's
pronounces.
in my head. That's
so
when I
I'm
read it.
trying not to
pronounce it?
say
Harkonnen.
Harkonnen.
Yeah, because that's when I read it as because I was watching the 80s
Yeah.
movie, so I would always read it as Harkonnen, but is Harkonnen is
Yeah.
supposedly the way it should be said.
But that first scene with them flying up onto the hill and
Yeah,
stuff.
That was great. Visually, it's movie's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
My God.
It's a lot of cool visuals. The length is 2 hours 40 something minutes. I wouldn't have minded if been a little longer.
a little longer, huh? Okay.
Yeah. No, I think more could. It's a really big book, and I think
It's
a lot
dense, yeah.
more could even be fleshed out there.
Yeah.
But I think they did it well. The story was engaging. I have problems with his character, but I thought Austin Butler and his character, I
His
liked
fade,
how he portrayed him. And
Rafa.
I was pretty much engaged throughout. I do have some nitpicks here and there.
What did you
but
think
I
of
enjoyed it.
Wonka himself, the Timothy Chalamet?
Chevrolet.
Shamalama ding dong.
I thought he did well. His kind of turn after drinking the worm juice and stuff. I understood it with the mother drinking it because she has the crazy baby trying to talk to her and all the time.
Crazy baby.
But but Paul in his character, he doesn't have that, and then I felt like like I understood he was seeing all the
Multiple,
potential futures,
right.
but I feel like he would have been. He seemed like a little more harsher, a little rude,
Right.
even when it wasn't getting people risen up for the cause.
Yeah.
He definitely changes towards the end.
I don't care if I believe. Do you believe? Do you believe, Justin, in the Khwadib?
Well, I feel like there's going to be a tragic ending here, so I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it for him. But yeah, I don't see the future, so I can't say for certain.
That's good. You're not the Quasar Sadrak.
I will say I was a little like I thought there was going to be more battles
For
in
sure.
the movie.
Yeah.
The way the trailers were,
Yeah.
Right.
shown to us, I was like, oh, they're going to have a lot of field battles with the
They
Harkonnens.
kind of did as a montage of their like guerrilla tactics. And
Yeah.
stuff.
No, and that was
we saw
cool.
more of the guerrilla tactics than we did the last battle. I was
Yeah.
hoping.
Yeah.
I was hoping that last battle lasted 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was,
Oh,
I
when
was
they're
hoping-
coming in with
yeah,
the worms.
I was really hoping we get a little more than that.
Yeah.
But we saw a little bit of ground combat. The worms coming in,
And then you just kind of hear it.
and then
in
that
the
was
distance.
it. Yeah,
And
and
then
then
I
it
was
was
like,
kind
oh,
of
okay.
over. And
Yeah.
even when the Emperor's guards, they walk down that tunnel
Yeah.
because they've already broken through defenses of the city of the fortress defenses, and then you just see Paul and his people come out of like the shadows. Like, oh, we already beat him. I was like, I was kind of hoping to see what these guys
Right,
could
right.
do. You know,
Yeah.
they're like the Imperial Guard. Like
Yeah.
I was hoping, but they cut out a lot of like the action sequence. The action sequences were still really good. That first one was
they were great.
That first one was
Man.
great. I love
Yeah.
I know it's the Harkonian language, but like how harsh it is, how it kind of sounds almost robotic,
Yeah.
you know. And now they're coming down off the drop ship with the I don't know what they're called in the series.
Still suits.
Still suits.
The the anti-gravity,
Oh,
yeah.
whatever they're called, the
Battle.
anti-gravity
Yeah.
belts, whatever they have, and they're coming down from that. It was visually beautiful, and then the attacks that the Harkonians launch on the Fremen. When Dave Bautista's character, whatever his name was,
Starts with an F.
the Beast.
something,
It's
Whatever. something, Dave Bautista's character, how
Frodo.
Frodo, yeah. I mean, he's so anxious to
Raban, I
defeat.
think.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Yeah, he's so anxious to defeat the Fremen that he just launches this blind attack on them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and they just completely wreck his ass. It was so good. Visually it was beautiful. The sandworms were amazing. I saw it in 70 millimeter on IMAX.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man! I mean, it was
Must be nice.
It was nice. I invited you guys.
I know.
Yeah.
I can. I saw it in 4DX, so
But, yeah, and the 40X was cool. I'm
gonna tell you.
I mean, I saw it. Okay, so I saw it on regular theater at Burbank AMC in Laser, and then I saw it the next day or 2 days later on
you
IMAX.
took
and 70 millimeter.
the liquid
Holy
of
shit.
life, the water of life, and your eyes were opened finally.
Just sit, it's called the Slurpee. And I just sit there and just
the bright
zoned out.
blue
Yeah.
Slurpee, just like oh.
Yeah, my eyes started turning blue.
Spice.
Okay, so one thing I didn't understand about, and to you guys that are Dune enthusiasts, I guess,
Duners. We call them Duners.
Dunethists.
Dunethis, the Bene Gesserit. Okay, so but it seems like people in that universe understand what they are. That they're kind of like these schemers and they're kind of like these
It's
prophets in a way.
yeah.
So why do
it's
they tolerate them? I don't. It seems like
Because,
I know they have powers, but
right.
like
They are
is
kind
that
of like
why?
the church. You know, they're
Okay.
basically they are truth-sayers and fortune tellers to the rich
Right.
and powerful.
Okay.
So because they have foresight, because they've been inhaling spice for so long,
Right.
they can kind of predict things the way they go, which they don't really get into in the movie. I don't think
They don't.
But,
They don't go a lot into what the spice can do to you.
Right.
They can turn your eyes blue. About it.
wait
And
till
then-
you meet the navigators. Oh boy.
So that's the other thing I got, because I know in the '80s movie they had navigators, and
Yeah,
they're like they're humans, but they're like
They're
deformed
mutated, yeah.
in like these spice
Because they
tanks.
literally are in tank. Yeah, they're
Right.
in tanks of spice.
And I remember seeing the 1980 movie how they brought it in, and it
Yeah,
looks so
yeah.
fucking cool. And like the guy opens, it looks like a whale.
Yeah.
It's human, but he's got blue eyes.
Yeah.
And I was hoping we could see. We kind
I'm
of saw the
surprised we
navigators
didn't
a little
see
bit.
any. Yeah.
We kind of saw something that looked like a navigator with the Arconians. How they had the guys there that were kind of looking in like a world map of Arrakis.
right.
I thought those were navigators, but they might have just
Those,
been.
I think those are the human computer guys.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of those.
Right.
Set, but yeah, no, I mean, so the whole Betsy Jenner has been they've been kind of manipulating bloodlines for years because they're trying to get to the one, right? They're trying to create the one. And
is that their overall plan?
Yeah, because they want to basically keep power for themselves. So they're going to create the ultimate weapon that they can kind of control. Like that's the whole thing with like Faye is like, how do we control him?
But not the one that the Fremen believe in.
No, because it's the Fremen belief is from the sisters have spread that rumor.
It's all split off into different. Yeah,
is that why she says we gave him hope and he goes, that's not hope?
It's a lie. Yeah, that they set out to be like, no, we can tell the locals that the people from the stars are gonna bring hope. You know,
I see. Okay,
but it's a way to control everything.
I see.
And so they're even manipulating the emperor. They're manipulating, they're telling the emperor, like, you should go after the Atreides because they're becoming more powerful. They're manipulating the Harkonnens. They're Harkonnens, sorry. Yeah. But, they're behind the scenes on everything.
I see. Okay.
It's like Macbeth, they told the emperor to go after it, and then now it turned around on him, and he's screwed.
Right.
But I will say...
Or like every cardinal... in the Catholic Church has always been,
or like the Three Musketeers,
exactly. It's religion, baby.
Hey, it's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's great.
Sure.
Yeah. But I was hoping one of the Bene Gesserits they would open up a sandwich shop because they're witches pretty much, and it's like they're on the sand planet.
Sandwiches,
sandwiches. Buy our sandwiches, $9.95.
Anyway, but yeah, it was. I like the. I think Frank Herbert did this on purpose. Obviously, Dune is a metaphor for oil.
Yeah, East, I mean, even the way the Fremen are kind of. Their language and everything, it's very kind of like Middle Eastern, like very, exactly. Yeah, it's very like Afghanistan, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I mean, I like the because it was very Game of Thrones-ish. Obviously Game of Thrones came out way after this, but how everybody's kind of playing a game.
Yeah. And
then Paul is kind of like the one's like, I refuse to play the game.
Yeah.
But he really is playing the game.
Yeah.
And I think the overall story at the end, at least the moral of the story, I guess, is absolute power corrupts absolutely. Because at the end, Paul is now convinced he is the one.
Right.
And
he's
doesn't
foreseeing billions of deaths.
And he doesn't care. He goes and he launches this war anyway, knowing that billions of people are going to die.
Yeah.
I don't know if he thinks he is the one. He just... Well, in this film, he kind of goes for it because he has that vision of Shani being like burnt and stuff, and then the attack on the Fremen. In the book, I believe they also had a kid who was killed in the attack. They didn't have a kid in this one.
They had a kid? Them, Paul and
Shani.
Oh, really?
Because in the book, it took place over like 2 years, that portion of the desert. Here, it's more like 6 months. Which is why
very abrupt.
Which is why you don't see the daughter born in this one, or his sister.
I thought that was interesting not to have... was it Arya as a sister, right?
It was interesting too having we kind of have a cameo of Anya Taylor-Joy, because if they're gonna wait like 10 years to make this next one, Anya Taylor-Joy is gonna age a bit too.
Well, I mean they can recast Chalamet for an older guy.
I don't think you should.
I believe the director's wanting to work on other projects before getting back into Dune, so I do think it might be another 8. Yeah,
that character also is supposed to mature faster because she was, a fetus when she was exposed. So in the book, she does grow up faster.
Oh, okay.
That's why, and she has all the memories of every Bene Gesserit. That's why she's super smart.
So she's like a clone trooper.
That's why when Jessica drinks, like the other Bene Gesserit are like, oh gosh, she's pregnant, don't do it, Because they foretell she's the abomination.
I see. It's because they were like, oh, what have you done? She's pregnant.
Yeah.
I see. And because then at one point Paul...
Because no fetus should have that much power.
Right. Yeah. Paul is just silence, and then the Bene Gesserit superior mother, or whatever they're called, she's like, oh, abomination.
Yeah.
Yeah, because... But it would have been hard. I do think it would have been hard to get the sister character as a young.
I mean, they've
little
done
kid.
it.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I remember I watched the '80s movie like right after I saw the first one, and seeing that like little girl come up and be like, "You don't want to mess with my brother." I laughed out loud so hard because she's doing like the demon voice, but it's like this little 2-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean that's Pet Cemetery, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But doesn't she kill the Baron in the movie in the book?
Yeah,
right? Yeah, the sister.
Yeah. She's the knife is what they call her.
Because I think in the '80s
Quiet,
movie,
fat
the
man.
Bene Gesserit calls the daughter the sister the abomination.
Yes,
Right.
I don't know
exactly.
the book, but
Yeah.
So that
And it gets more into that in Children of Dune, the third book.
I gotta finish the '87 movie. I gotta finish it.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
I
I mean,
never
it's
finished
very, they've taken, 1,000 pages and
right.
condensing it to all.
I mean,
but,
compared to this one, what do you think?
comparing it.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I mean, how much did they? I mean, obviously, I know they had more of a budget in this one. They had 2 movies opposed to 1, but like, how much did they cut out, or what's the better story interpretation?
It's interesting because the movie, the '84 movie, ends completely differently. Where because they don't want to go into Paul being, basically a murderer, he brings water to Dune, so he uses his powers to make it rain on Arrakis, which. But so it's a bit of an uplifting ending. I think they did the best that they could at the time. For the effects and everything looked great for the 1980s. I mean,
are there as many fights in that movie as in this one?
Yeah.
There's
I think all the major fights are kind of taken care of, and even when they go to
Paul fights Butler's character.
Yes, yeah,
okay.
And
played by Sting.
Yeah, played by Sting. Yeah, who's great in it. It's actually really good in it, and I actually just rewatched those fights again to kind of compare them.
Is that I will kill him?
Yeah, I will kill him. And the some of the lines are taken right out of the book, and he's like, "Oh, is that your pet? And I'll take care of her," Yeah. And I liked Austin Butler. I thought did a great job, kind of really
did a great job,
ruthless and doing the voice of
Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah.
It was a dead-on impression of him.
Yeah,
I was
man,
man.
I didn't expect that. So I thought, and then the stuff on the home planet where they're using the monochromatic black and white stadium stuff because of the black sun and it was fantastic.
That looked great.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that looked amazing. Yeah.
The 80s film, probably in terms of characters, some of the biggest difference is the Arconans.
Yeah.
They're
way more over the top.
Extremely different in both of those movies. But I remember
just as sadistic though. I think
they just instead of the white and black, they're more just gross.
Yeah, they're just let's make them gross and redheads.
There's a rat with something taped to him. I remember there's a lot of goofy.
I got to see this movie again.
Yeah.
But the film itself, if you rewatch part 1 and part 2, and then the '80s film. Basically, the part 1 portion is very close in terms of scenes and everything.
I agree.
But since the 80s film is one film, once he gets to the desert, then it goes into rapid fire.
Oh, yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and they don't touch on much stuff. In that one, he is the chosen one. No matter of 100%.
The big difference is that in this in the newer one, he rides the sandworm to kind of join the Fremen. And in the '84 one, it's if I want to be the one, I have to ride the sandworm. I have to conquer Shai-Hulud.
But in the '84 one, does everybody ride a sandworm like they do in this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You do see the Fremen are doing that.
I see. Okay.
I think
how was that special effect? Because
it's not bad. I mean, it's
there's green screen in there.
Yeah, it's a lot. Early optical work.
Sure.
I mean, it's funny. David Lynch was supposed to do Return of the Jedi, but then opted out to do Dune back in '84.
Right.
So he would have done Star Wars, but was I'm gonna do Dune instead.
I really thought Javier Bardem stole the show though for the movie.
Yeah,
I was surprised by the humor.
Yeah.
He's a living meme now. There's so many memes of him. Paul gasps, "He is the one."
Yeah. It was like he was the most entertaining of the.
Oh yeah, I thought you did a great job.
Yeah.
As Stilsgaard. I really think Sarah Ferguson, who does Lady Jessica.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Rebecca Ferguson. Thank you. Sarah Ferguson is the Princess Duchess of Wales. What am I thinking? No, but I think she did a great job.
Oh,
especially
yes,
absolutely. After taking the wars and becoming
so scary.
Yeah, really becoming frightening and like talking to herself and like, shh, quiet down.
Right.
And then
and the way
that's me in the bathroom.
Even when she uses her voice, it sounds
and turning all the weak ones we got to get all the weak ones to join.
Right. That's how I do it.
Yeah, it's so well done, and I think it was a really good upgrade for her character.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had a great time. Again, I really liked. To me, the most interesting part was the Harkonians, like the war that they're waging on the Fremen.
Yeah.
You know, that was the most interesting part because it just seems like it's your classic, very powerful empire versus these kind of supposed uncivilized barbarians who are just whooping their asses.
Well, I wanted to bring up the Baron only because you two have read the books. That I learned that he was. Only him? Oh, sorry. Well, I learned that he was. Because they left it out of the 80s movie and this, but he is actually like pedophile. Like,
I mean, they do kind of.
I think in the 80s one, movie, it's a little more.
Oh, really?
Like when Sting comes out, he's all he's all into him.
Yeah.
This one, Austin Butler just cuts a lot of girls' throats.
Yeah, it just kind of just slices people up.
Well, because there was that scene
Sexy
where
bald ladies.
They enter the room. The Baron entering his like little pool of whatever, and those two girls are like dead on the floor. I was like, so I guess that was there alluding to
it was,
that sort
of.
Yeah,
they didn't really get into it.
Yeah, but those were grown women.
Yeah, so I think they probably just changed it for.
Yeah, and in the '80s movie, they were definitely more like tweaky little guys that would hang around with the Baron.
Gotcha.
Oh, did you guys notice that they kind of like forgot the entire concept of shields? In this one,
right? Yeah,
there's a reason for it.
Is there? They said something about it attracts sandworms, but it didn't seem like that was always the case. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it was mostly the sandworms. That's why when they fire the missiles at the end sequences, they don't land it on the Emperor or anything. They land it
on the
to destroy the wall barrier.
Right, to bring them in.
Because then that opens it up for the worms.
And the wind.
So then they don't want to have their shields up because then the worm is going to eat their ship or whatever. Because
the shields up?
The shields attract the worm.
Right. Well,
that's the logic.
But then there was so then I guess I
Are
saw
you talking
a little
about the
bit
personal shields?
the personal shields.
Right.
So like when they're in the desert, like those guys like the very first opening scene.
They're not really using them.
Yeah, they go up. They they use the anti-gravity whatever to go up on top of that cliff because they hear the sandworms coming, and then they start getting shot. And they don't turn on their.
Yeah, you'd be the first. Well, there's also reasons behind that because if you use it, I think in the book they say if you use like an energy weapon against a shield, like it blows up. Like it's like it'll make like a bomb basically.
It'll blow your weapon up.
It'll blow everyone up around you. Like it's like you're definitely gonna kill yourself.
So if I fire an energy weapon at a guy with a shield, then my weapon will blow up.
No.
The guy that you fired
the shield.
So why would he put on the shield?
Oh, I see.
I think basically the shields they're only good with like knives and swords. But if you had a gun, then it would cause an explosion if you shot the shield.
Well, I thought the reason that they didn't use guns in this universe is because the shield would block it, so that's why guns are kind of unnecessary. But it only like knives can penetrate it. But
the slow knife,
right?
The slow knife can go through the shield.
But obviously they have these energy weapons in the second one that we didn't really see in the first one. And
the lasers.
Yeah, the lasers. They're kind of like blasting through guys. That's why I didn't really understand. It seemed like it was a little bit of a plot hole there because like.
I get what you're saying, because they make the rule about it in the first part, and then they kind of go against it in the second part.
Yeah, and then they get attacked when they're doing the
that's why like the
spice collector or whatever it's called.
Well,
and then they come at them and they're not wearing their shields. Like when the Fremen attack them, like you'd be like, "Fuck a sandworm, dude! I'm gonna turn this thing on." I'm about to get attacked. Plus we're out here with this massive machine. I mean, we're gonna attract them regardless. You know? So, but yeah, when every time the Harkonians got attacked, they weren't wearing shields all of a sudden. When they were like hand-to-hand fighting. And then Paul and Zendaya's character, had that the bazooka.
Yeah.
They're trying to shoot down that airplane.
But
The
those are
plane had it.
shielded.
The plane had it.
And you saw the actual like the
projectile.
round. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
just
like
kind
it
of
goes
gets
slow
boring
moving,
through it.
yeah.
Yeah. But the guys on the ground they're fighting didn't have their shields on. I was like, I don't understand what's going on here. Because in the first one,
Are you trying to find holes?
because in the first one, every time like there was that great scene where the Harkonians and the what are Paul's people?
Fremen?
Paul's house.
Atreides.
The Atreides soldiers and the Harkonians like go at it, and
they
you just see a bunch of
shield up,
shields.
yeah.
Like they're like.
But that's because they're inside those city walls.
Right. So that's what. Yeah. I mean, we did see him in the city walls, I guess, when they got attacked there and Bautista's character got killed, but he also wasn't. Also, I was hoping for a longer fight between Bautista and
Josh Brolin.
and Josh Brolin's character, and it was
Brolin's
over. It was over in literally 5 seconds.
Well, Gainey, the character that Brolin plays, is supposed to be the best swordsman
exactly.
in the universe,
Right,
basically.
yeah.
That's why everyone's like, oh, the Atreides warriors all trained by him. So, I think if it was a lesser director, it would have been like, oh, we're going to set up this huge fight between the two. I like the fact it was just like...
Just quick.
I'm going to take this guy out. I mean, he was already on the run anyway.
That's true.
I think like maybe they could have like Batista's character could have been like all soldiers at him, and then he could have fought like 20 dudes at the same time.
Give Brolin something,
and then walk up and stab him
or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It was just over. It was literally like 5 seconds, and I was expecting. I was like, oh, here we go. I was like rubbing my hands, like, oh, here we go. You know?
I feel it's like
Thanos versus Drax.
Yeah, here we go.
But we did get some good hand-to-hand combat in the arena,
Oh,
and then the
Yeah,
final fight at the end.
Yeah.
Was good.
That pissed me off so much.
Um,
Why are these fools drugged? I was like, you guys are bitches, dude.
Oh, well, that's the whole thing. It's like
that's
it
one
was
thing.
They even say it's a setup. Yeah,
I wish, because they have like two big guys who are drugged up, and then there's one guy who he's
like
able to walk straight, but he doesn't seem like he's been fed in a while or whatever.
But even then, he's an Atreides soldier who was trained by Gurney, and he still holds his ground.
And what's his name? Respected him at the end. You fought well.
But because the Baron, he purposely didn't drug the one guy, but I think it would have been cooler and made him seem more like a threat if he didn't drug any.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah, because I was like, well, because at the end he was like shocked that the guy wasn't drugged. And then he told his uncle, like, "Oh, you're trying to kill me out there, huh?
Kill me.
Yeah, I should drown you in that pool." I was kind of hoping, like, saying the same thing, like, why were they? I was hoping he'd be upset that they were drugged. Like, why were they drugged?
No.
Like, I wanted a fair fight, But,
that's probably why he's had every birthday. Is a bunch of drug guys to slaughter.
But that makes him less of a threat in general as a character, which that's why when he.
Well, that's why the Baron's like, I want to see his true nature.
Right. So that's why when he fights Paul at the end, you're like, I know he's going to beat him because he's fought a bunch of drug dudes.
Yeah.
He's a bitch. He's a bitch. He's going to lose.
He did take off his shield for them, but
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, but they're
I thought he played him well. I do think he could have been built a little more as a threat.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, apparently they in the books, and I don't know if it was in the movie as well, but he was introduced much earlier, before what's his
I was
name
surprised he wasn't seen in part 1.
Yeah,
but,
they introduced him kind of late in this movie too.
But I guess they just didn't have anyone cast at that point.
Oh, that's fair.
But I do think that's why I said even though it's long, I do think it could be even longer because we do have a lot of characters and stuff cut. Like you mentioned, the creature elephant thing.
Oh, the navigators. Yeah,
so, those would be space navigators. I was hoping to see them. I was hoping to see them all deformed and fucked up in their tanks. Because they look great in the '84 movie. I do remember that part.
Well, it's Lynch, baby. The guy knows how to make a creepy monster.
Yeah, and they have attendants that walk with them, and because they're in these huge tanks, and they're revered because they're able to navigate through the stars.
Exactly, they're almost gods themselves. Yeah, they're as close to godliness.
Right, exactly. Just floating in a vat of spice.
Mainlining spice.
Yeah. Anything else about Dune 2?
Man, ready for more.
Yeah, man. I'm glad I saw it twice. I mean, seeing it the second time, I paid a little more attention to things in the background that I kind of had to miss in the first one because I wanted to get. I
was gonna say this one starts off right off the bat, with where the last one ended. Exactly. So it's like if you didn't see the first one, I mean, there's no recap. It's like you're right in that world.
Yeah.
So no previously on Dune, So So I would love to see this as a double feature someplace. And,
for sure.
Maybe 70 millimeter if anyone invites me.
Yeah, Justin.
Hey, I gave 2 seats to you.
He did give 2 seats, and I was sitting next to an empty seat.
Oh, geez.
It's pretty nice, though. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, and
Chad, where were you sitting? You're sitting at home like me, just
Chad
waiting for.
Chad said I already saw it.
Oh yeah, I saw it. I
too.
saw it on the opening night on Thursday at the AMC Burbank IMAX.
Outstanding.
But obviously that IMAX is not the. Hey, it was booked way ahead of time. I didn't have control. But
somehow you got a ticket.
Yeah, because I got dependable people around me. They take care of me. They're good to me. They're good people.
Damn. Shots fired.
Seriously, I guess we're chopped liver, huh? We ain't shit. That's basically what you said. Fuck
You're
you
not
too,
the
Chad.
chosen one.
Yeah, the movie I'm sure is good to see at any format, but it is a little special at taking advantage of the full IMAX aspect ratio of 143 by 1,
right.
Just because of how few films utilize that. Last year, the only film to do that was Oppenheimer. A lot of people think of IMAX and they think of the standard 190 by 1 screen, but those weren't introduced until the early 2000s. But prior to that, all IMAXs were the full-size ones. But because of how tall the screen is, it was mainly just used for documentaries, which is why you see them in primarily museums. But they expanded it to smaller auditoriums because those were more viable for a lot of places. And that's why today there are so few full-size IMAX screens, normally called GT IMAX, just because of how big they are and how few movies take advantage of them. So when a movie does come out that utilizes that full aspect ratio, it's worth checking out. And a lot of those screens, they either just play documentaries, so they don't play the new films. Some, they have the screen, but they don't invest in a dual laser setup. So if they don't have a 70 millimeter print, they can't expand the aspect ratio all the way. And it's hard, and a lot, they don't see it worth it purchasing the print for the run. So like Oppenheimer, that was... no one's tied as close to IMAX as Christopher Nolan. And that there was probably about 60 locations worldwide that could have played Oppenheimer in its full aspect ratio. For Dune, it's probably closer to 40. So there's only 40 places in the world that you could see it there. A lot of them are US and Canada. For 70 millimeter IMAX, there was only 7 in the US and 4 of which are in California.
Justin's seen all. Justin's hitting them all up.
I got excited.
So it's definitely unique, yeah.
But are you going to try to make it down to Irvine to catch it at the biggest one out here?
Does Irvine have the biggest one?
Yeah, they have the biggest.
It's larger than City Walk, but technically for California, San Francisco is larger for the Metro. But I would like to check out one of those eventually.
There you go. And I would also say, watch it in 4DX. Because let me tell you, those sandworm riding scenes, they will jostle the poop right out of your butt. I bet. Let me tell you, there was people getting thrown around in theaters.
Well, let me ask though, did it get sandy in there?
I expected them to throw sand in our faces. There wasn't so much. There was a lot of wind and smells, which was nice.
Smells.
They throw in
spice.
Spice, yeah.
Cinnamon?
You know what? It was a little cinnamony.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really? It was good. It was good. And it was funny because watching it, I didn't buy a drink when I went to see the movie, and watching that much desert, I'm like.
Yeah,
I'm getting really, and then watching them kiss.
They make it real hot in there.
Oh my god!
I definitely got a water.
Yeah, just
afterward.
Watching them kiss, I was like, those are some dry chapped lips. Just some dry kissing going on there.
It's like the still suits, they piss at them,
Yeah, baby.
And I'm just like,
do they also shit in them?
That's a life of water, baby. You think they shit in them?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's gross.
Oh yeah, everything.
No, they drop sand dollars all across the.
Everything
gets their junk must smell terrible, dude.
They're just digging a little hole.
No, it's
drop trowel.
Yeah, but it's liquid. They don't waste any liquid.
They don't waste it, baby.
Well, no, it's not. Poop's not liquid.
It's made up of liquid.
But I mean, you're
Everything
gonna have,
gets recycled.
Yeah.
I know.
Everything.
But they say liquid.
gets
But
recycled.
what about solids though?
Yeah.
Good question. I mean, it doesn't. It looks like the still suit is like a jumpsuit.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
you have to like
Do you
peel
think
it
there's
off.
like a little hatch in the back?
I mean, they should.
Yeah.
It's like a little onesie, and then you know they eat a lot of fiber out there, probably with some of the.
But you can't poop in rhythm because then it'll bring the sandworms.
Yeah,
So you gotta
True,
kind of
yeah.
poop, poop.
You can't even fart.
you gotta
Be
do
careful with farts.
You gotta
Yeah.
do small. You gotta do small. Because they don't.
And you
eat
gotta
that.
kind of do the sand walk.
Yeah. That's why they do the sand walk.
You gotta walk
That's
side to
why.
side and drop your shit.
Yeah, that's why they do the sand walk.
I mean,
that's why.
I would say that's better.
It's not for sandworms. It's because they're dropping trout.
And we all know sandworms love a good old poop.
Yep, exactly.
All right, enough of this poop talk.
Yeah.
Oh, you like it? Welcome to Enter the Nerdom, where poop
Yeah.
is.
I mean, that's why we have the bucket.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Oh.
I actually could use it right now.
Dune 2, awesome. The only question I had is when they read the sandworms, there's a lot of people on these sandworms. But it seems like it's very difficult to latch onto a sandworm, so they have the sandworm stop, then load everybody. How does that work, do you think?
It's like a train.
Yeah, I don't know, because they've got like little toboggans that go on.
Yeah,
and
well, they've got
everything.
Jessica's character.
Yeah,
in
the little carriage
like,
and everything.
Carriage, yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe
got
they
a
have
lot of people on there.
Maybe they have a few domesticated ones.
Or
That
what?
seems like it, right?
I think maybe
The express train,
They did
the
have
express
the
stand,
and the
worm.
worms create
Yeah.
the spice, right?
Yeah,
Right, and that's why they can't like.
That's
And
the
they,
poop,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's poop. That's
poop.
what I read, right? It's a sandworm
and they
poop.
don't like your poop mixing with their poop.
That's right.
That creates bad poop.
Oh gosh.
All right, yeah, enough of that.
Dune 2, check it out.
Yeah,
movie.
number 2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
number. Yeah,
How do the worms poop? That's the real
that's
question.
spice. It comes out of their the pores.
yeah. When
Oh,
he
yeah,
like
when
he
pulls
lifts up
back
the
and you
flap.
see the little
yeah.
flappies.
Pores.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
thought that's how they
breathe,
breathe.
and that's why they shoot out their
Oh,
waste.
no
which is
wonder
spice.
they're angry.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
If someone was latching onto your butt the entire time
Hey,
while you're trying to take a shit.
it burns.
why don't
Good.
broke Justin.
Let's get it. Let's
We
get
just
it.
broke it.
they should just capture if they're trying
Okay.
to harvest spice,
Boom.
they
I-
should domesticate a worm and just have it produce a bunch of
Okay,
spice.
so here's the
like
problem.
chickens.
That's
Here's the problem,
the third
yeah.
book.
Right. So and also because I got lost down the rabbit hole of YouTube videos
Poop videos.
of Dune of poop videos, but then
Everybody
some Doom
poops.
some Doom stuff.
Every
so-
Dune poops.
Yeah.
They cross together.
Well, so they can't. They've tried in the past to take a sandworm from Arrakis and put it somewhere else,
Yeah.
and it dies. Right.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no way to
yeah.
take them off world.
Yeah. Exactly. And there's no way to domesticate them because once you try to domesticate them and stop them from roaming around, they stop producing spice.
Or that's how the movie Tremors started, because Dune's a real world, and somehow they got transported to Earth,
Right.
and then we got worms on Earth.
No, but
Graboids?
Dune is supposed to be our future. So
Whatever.
10,000 years in the future.
Yeah,
8,000.
we're out there in the galaxy. We're still on Super Earth, baby.
Well, Tremors
Shout out to my
could be
hell
the
divers.
Future's future.
That's true. That's
It
true.
reverts back.
That's true. That's true.
But do you think Tremors was inspired by Dune, the book?
Oh,
Oh,
100%.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Graboids? Fuck yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
100%. I love Tremors. It's a
Yeah,
great
Tremors-
movie. Tremors
we
2
do-
is good too.
Now
I
let
like
me
Tremors.
let me say
That's
As good as Dune 2?
I remember
Not as
just
good as Dune 2,
random.
but still pretty good.
I
Is
randomly
that the one with
watched.
the ass blasters?
no, that's the third one. That one's not good, but the second one's good because they have
Second one's
legs.
really good.
Yeah, and they have the
Yeah.
heat vision
Yeah.
that they could see your body heat, like
Yeah.
Predator.
I remember
That's
my
better?
dad turned on like the fifth one.
Oh,
I
God.
think it's like Tremors Bloodlines.
Yeah, they
And
go
they're-
in the
that's
west.
just- yeah.
No.
Time.
No, it's one after that.
Oh,
But there's
I
like
never
a
saw that.
scene.
We're doing a marathon.
There's a
That's it.
scene
We'll watch
stripped
all the
right
Tremors
out
We'll have
of
the
Jurassic
director on.
Park in that film.
God,
Yeah.
I'd
where
love that.
where the trimmer gets on land, they go in like a kitchen, and then you see the trimmers like nails tapping like
Nice.
the
Like
like the
Rabbit
Velociraptor
Oh
scene.
my god.
yes.
It's shot for shot. They do a homage to Jurassic Park.
Hey, who
and
wouldn't want to do an
Tremors
homage
5.
to Jurassic
true.
Park? I mean,
Oh man,
great movie.
Dune 2.
totally went off topic.
Tremors. Tremors 2.
Number 2.
Check them all out.
Yes.
While you're doing number 2. Fuck it. And the reason we have Justin here, the Oscars.
Yeah.
Justin,
It's Oscar night.
Movie
It's
aficionado.
Oscar
Tell
night.
us about Oscar. Tell us about the movies that are up for the Oscars, man. What did you think about them? How many did you watch? What's your favorite? And what are your predictions for the Oscars?
I tried to watch most of them. Okay. I didn't watch any of the documentary features or shorts. I had an opportunity to watch a couple, but I knew I'd be annoyed if I didn't get through all of them. And then I didn't watch 3. So Golda, Flamin' Hot, and El Condi. But every other film I watched, and all so if you want to talk about animated short films, I can talk about those.
Is nominated
for best original song. I listened to the song. I don't think it's gonna win, but it's somehow about
it really is about the Cheetos.
I really love the Cheetos.
I didn't know that.
Cheeto
Nominate
advertisement
my song.
I like them spicy. I like them hot. Why not cover these cheese doodles with something that's
hot?
There you go. That's good.
I get song credit for that.
Thank you.
That's song credit.
They did play that film at the White House, though. I think Joe Biden said he liked it.
I love those.
It's an interesting story.
They did an outdoor screening.
Interesting story.
Those Cheetos are real good. It's popcorn. Those Cheetos. I love Cheetos.
Is that supposed to be Joe Biden?
My attempt at a Joe Biden, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were having a stroke or something.
No, I was just talking about Cheetos. Flaming hot Cheetos.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Come on. Those Cheetos, man. They're hot.
They're hot.
So yeah, I watched a great portion of the films. And there's a lot of good ones there.
So tell them which one, what are your favorite films? Which one is your favorite, and which one do you think is going to win the Oscars for Best Picture?
Whoa, we're jumping right to Best Picture.
Best Picture.
Oh, that's a lot of questions.
Uh huh.
I liked a lot of them. Best Picture.
Do you want me to go through the nominations?
Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Your nominations for Best Picture are
Dune.
American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon.
I was going to do the bit for each one as you read them off.
I'm sorry then.
That's okay.
Maestro.
Boom.
Are you guys ready to play the music?
Keep in mind we don't have video on this.
Yeah, no, I know
because he's holding his hands up like he's going to be a conductor.
Hey, but I'm talking about what's happening here. I'm saying, hey, are you guys ready?
Yes.
I'm about to conduct. I'm about to conduct.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay,
that was
next.
a bit.
Oppenheimer. Make fun of that, you son of a bitch.
You know what?
Why are you doing a mushroom cloud? Wow, that's messed up.
Oh man,
it's like I've been thinking about a bomb. That's it for that one.
Past Lives.
Man, I had a good life.
Chat's favorite movie of the year.
Poor Things.
Poor thing. Yeah. No.
The Zone of Interest. These are all these last ones are really hard to make fun of because it's just all hate.
You know what? I'm really interested in that zone over there.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Oh, those are your nominees.
There you go. Justin, how many of those did you see?
I saw all of them.
All of them? Okay. So, out of all those, which one was your favorite?
Do you want to look at them?
Yeah, sorry. There's 10 nominees.
10 nominees.
So
it's all right, man. It's hard to choose. It's hard to choose.
Bill Clinton, what are you doing here?
Hey, man, I'm just here for support.
Nice.
You know?
If I were to pick one, I'd probably go Oppenheimer, though I do like multiple. And I do think the Academy's going to pick Oppenheimer for Best Picture.
Yeah. It's been winning every other award.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But I did really enjoy The Holdovers. Poor Things was good. I had fun with American Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
I did a Q&A with I didn't do the Q&A, but I was present for a Q&A with Jeffrey Wright on that one. And it was probably one of my favorites for
I would
last
love
year.
to hear what he had to say. Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of good picks.
You were also in Shaft.
Oh yeah, I forgot
he was in that.
Yeah, he played
Peoples.
Yeah, Peoples. When he stabbed him, so you killed my brother and you killed me.
Jeffrey
I
Wright's
forgot
the
about
best.
So yeah, I don't really think there are any bad ones. I know there's been a lot of hate from Maestro. I thought it was still okay.
I thought it was good.
And then Zone of Interest, I wasn't as into as other people, but I still thought it was okay.
I think it's interesting filmmaking wise, like how they did it. You know, setting up the cameras in the house with a very minimal crew. It was all like very all done in real time with people filming, like they were doing scenes outside and scenes inside the house all simultaneously. And but yeah, just a
Did you see it?
I did. It was a tough watch, but
It's about the Holocaust, right?
yeah,
You took your son to that one, right?
yeah, I did. Yeah,
Wait, which movie?
Like, it was either it was Migration or that. You know, it's about the family who runs Auschwitz.
Oh,
Right.
Living right next to the camp.
And just like they're throwing like garden parties while
There's like smoke in the background. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Holy shit.
I do like that you don't really see the violence taking
right,
place,
but it's there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's always
Right.
it's always present, and it's awkward as hell.
Well, there's a movie that came out a couple years ago called The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Did you ever see that? And it was about one of the I think the guy who the concentration camp either the commandant or one of the guard's sons befriends a child that's in the camp. Holy shit,
It's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough. Yeah.
And they're on opposite sides of the fence, and they just happen to see each other. And being kids, they're just like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
they don't
what's
see a
going on?"
difference.
And the kid has no idea. The commandant's son has
Right.
no idea what's going on. Like, why are they over there?
Yeah.
Who are those people? Jesus Christ, yeah.
So has everyone else seen at least half of the nominations for Best Picture?
I have not seen any one of those except for Barbie, Oppenheimer, and I think that's it.
You didn't
saw
watch
Killers?
Killers?
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Killers, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maestro. You didn't see Maestro?
I haven't seen Maestro yet. I want to see the rest of them. I just haven't had.
Yeah,
opportunity to
Holdovers
see
is
them.
great. I love.
Holdovers. My bad. Yeah, I saw that. I saw Holdovers. Yeah.
So almost half.
Almost
Yeah,
half.
You're at
that's
four.
not bad.
Holdovers is great.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah.
I
I don't think it's going to win Best Picture, but it's
it's
still
a very
good movie.
small movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice feel-good
Yeah.
Hollywood holiday film.
I think it's going to be one of those that's going to be in heavy rotation around the holidays. Like it's going to become a cult classic kind of thing.
true.
Yeah, and it's I do like the 70s aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like
It
if
does
you
feel like that.
got someone who didn't know the actors and told them it was a 70s
It
film,
looks, I mean,
then
it's
they would
fantastic.
believe you. They
Yeah.
even make the what's the studio's name? They give them
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
70s,
retro
yeah.
intro despite
yeah.
not being created
is it
until
up for
like the
cinematography
90s.
at all? Do you know?
I don't think
'Cause
cinematography.
it's
but
beautifully shot.
we
and,
can
like,
get around to it.
yeah. You okay?
I still want to see Holdovers. I haven't seen it yet, but I don't know why this popped in my head, but the gag I was doing earlier for each movie,
Yes.
the one for Anatomy of a Fall would have been my best one, where it's like Anatomy. Get it?
I get it.
You got it?
Yes, I got it.
Yeah. Woo!
Yes, I got
That was a
it.
good one.
Oh.
That was a good one.
That one was
Pat
also
myself.
Anatomy
Yes.
of a Fall was also pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's movies like Oppenheimer, which most of the people have seen. Is there any of the smaller movies you would recommend? Like, would you recommend? Like, I'm sure most people are going to see Poor Things because I think it's coming on Hulu this weekend for the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
But like Anatomy of the Fall or I guess Zone of Interest. I don't know, or Past Lives. Would you recommend those movies or?
I think like most of them are pretty accessible. Probably the least accessible one is Zone of Interest. I mean, it does start like 3 minutes with like a black screen and music.
Yeah.
So that might throw some people off immediately. But I wouldn't say it's like too artsy. But I think like most of these, like
the most artsy one on the Poor Things, I guess.
Well, Poor Things, I think is pretty artsy.
Very-
yeah,
interesting.
I think all of them except maybe Zone of Interest. Poor Things is a little out there. If you aren't comfortable with sexual content, that won't be the one for you. But
Right. So she plays like a robot.
She's
No.
been
she's
brought
like
to
a
life.
baby. Yeah,
A baby?
like it's about consciousness and what it
Right.
means to be kind of.
But isn't she like invented?
basically by William Dafoe's character, so it's kind of like a Frankenstein. And she grows up mentally really fast.
Right. Yeah. It's like, what does it mean to be someone without the conditioning that we all have had through our lives? You know, if suddenly like I'm a grown-up body, like what does that mean to you?
Yeah. And if we get into like some of the actor conversations, all the actors do a great job in it. I'm not really a huge Mark Ruffalo person, but he's a really fun character in that movie.
He's good. I really thought Willem Dafoe should have got the nomination for the movie, but
yeah, Dafoe was good too.
He's great.
Was Emma Stone nominated for?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. I love Emma Stone.
So yeah, those I guess Maestro is a little bit less, but it's still accessible. So most of these on this list I'd recommend. Just depends on the mood you're feeling. So
yeah, is there any you would add to your home collection?
Oh, good question.
I have Oppenheimer in 4K. I'd probably want to get Holdovers. I hope they get a 4K. Right now it's just a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Maybe American Fiction. So I liked Killers of the Flower Moon. I don't think I was huge on it. So it'd probably be like maybe those three.
Okay.
Well, we brought up Emma Stone. Should we look at the actresses?
Leading actress.
There you go. Chad, you got something for us? Your nominees for actress in a leading role.
Oh, okay.
Annette Bening for Naiad.
Oh, sorry. Just what? Yeah.
Annette Bening for Naiad.
Nah.
Lily Gladstone, Killers of a Flower Moon.
Careful.
Yeah. What? Oops.
You should say I'm glad she was.
Yeah. I'm glad she made it.
Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall.
Anatomy. There we go. I got to use that.
And Carey Mulligan for Maestro.
Wow, he's really good at conducting music.
And Emma Stone for Poor Things. Stop humping the table, Chad. Oh, God.
This Dune cup is really feels amazing.
It seems a little tight.
Oh,
wow. Justin.
Just dirty boy.
Yes. We're corrupting you. Oh, my gosh. And right now, Watson is messing with our breaking shit. Jesus.
So, so those are our nominees. Is anyone got predictions or anyone's like, well, I think she should have been nominated?
I mean, it's probably going to be Lily Gladstone. It's going to come down to Lily Gladstone or Emma, you know.
Has she won every time in any of the other awards?
I don't know.
Emma Stone has won once.
Yeah.
I forgot what movie it was.
But the rest were Gladstone?
Are you talking about like up to this point?
Up to this point
in the awards.
In the awards
season.
in
other awards.
Yeah, in other awards.
I thought you meant Oscars.
No, yeah, I meant in.
I think it's been a mix.
A mix.
Yeah, it's been all over the board. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
But yeah,
usually you could tell because they give it away to the people who aren't going to win the Oscar sometimes.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
Yeah, my personal pick is Emma Stone, but I think Lily Gladstone is going to be the winner.
Yeah, I think it's either one.
She was. I mean, it's very different performances.
Yeah.
Like Lily Gladstone is so understated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and like I think same with Carey Mulligan for Maestro as well was very, very reserved until she needed not to be. You know. So I think out of those two would be my choice. But
yeah.
But I think all of them did good. Like Anatomy of a Fall was hinges on her character.
Yeah.
I forgot the name. Hüller.
Yeah, Sandra Hüller. Got the umlaut on there.
And yeah, Carey Mulligan was good in Maestro.
Yeah.
Naiad was an okay movie, but
she does swim.
Played good.
She swim good.
She's a real polar bear.
But I just felt that Emma Stone was able to do more of what I'm not used to seeing.
Yeah, it's a real character study.
It's a little hard for me with Lily Gladstone as a best leading actress because I felt she felt more like a supporting character to me in the film. But I'm sure if I rewatched it, thered be enough dialogue from her in to be counted as a main character. But yeah,
I mean, she is a strong presence in that movie, so I think that I'd give it to her. But
2 Stones, 1 Oscar. Who's gonna get it?
we'll find out.
Tune in this Sunday for where the Stones battle it out for the final championship. Oscar Mayer and his golden trumpet. I don't know where I was going
Golden
with that.
trumpet?
I didn't. Why didn't you
Trumpet,
stop me?
huh?
Why didn't you cut me off? What
I
are you
was
doing?
look- I was
What are you
looking at-
doing here?
I was looking
You know,
for-
you're supposed to cut me off.
I'm trying to get the list for actors
We're
in a
getting
leading role. This is our actors
Yes,
in a leading
actors.
role. Bradley Cooper, Maestro.
Ah, man, I wrote this song and it's so good.
Coleman Domingo for Rustin.
Rusted. Man, my bicycle, it's all rusting. Up.
Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers.
You know what? I'm not going home for Christmas.
Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer.
You know, I don't like Nazis.
Okay. Chuck Norris did the role.
I mean,
And Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction.
I like to write books.
All right. Those are
we go.
your nominees.
wow.
Any predictions or do you think that the Academy missed out an opportunity on someone?
Good question.
Good.
No Leo?
I personally wouldn't. I don't know if I'd say that Leo was. I wouldn't have given that a nomination. There are others, I'm sure, if I could think of one, but I saw probably 150 movies last year, so I'm having a hard
Give or
time.
take.
I have a hard time thinking of specific examples. I would say if I were to take out some, I do think like I don't know, like Maestro, he did good, but it wasn't.
Who put Snoopy out on the vestibule? It's my favorite line in the movie.
And I kind of feel the same way about Coleman, Domingo, and Rustin. That might more be because of the movies of both of those feel a little average. But they still do a good job. And then Jeffrey Wright, well, I really liked him in the movie. I wasn't wowed. But
It was a surprising nomination, I think.
like I liked him in the role, and he did well. But I didn't know what was so.
I feel like his is more of the career. Like, you've had such an astounding career. Here's your nomination.
Yeah.
Than this role in particular.
Right.
But
So I have a feeling it's either going to be Paul Giamatti or Cillian Murphy. I'm going to go with
Paul Giamatti.
Cillian Murphy and put that as
he's been kind of sweeping it.
and put that as my prediction as well.
But it could be an upset. Paul Giamatti could get it.
I like Paul Giamatti.
He might be in and out one more time.
Exactly.
I was an orangutan. Planet of the Apes.
I was painted blue. Was that Liar movie?
Liar, yeah.
Liar.
No. Big
Oh, no.
fat liar.
Yeah, big fat liar.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I'm the Rhino. And
That's
Spider-Man.
Rhino, yeah.
Can you imagine, like, he gets the Oscar and he's like, I want to be the Rhino again.
He was also John Adams.
Yeah, because when you get the Oscar, you get that choice of whatever movie I want to do Spider-Man for. The good Spider-Man. Yeah.
That's right.
No, another Sony Spider-Verse, but this time it's the Rhino.
Yeah, he'll do a
just him.
cameo in
Yeah.
Craven.
Well,
That'd be
I
awesome.
mean, that's his younger self, the guy who's playing him in Craven the Hunter.
So that was lead actors and lead actresses and Best Picture. Should we move on to director?
Yes.
Director.
Best Director. Justin Treat, Anatomy of a Fall.
Is it Justine?
Justine Treat,
Okay.
you're right. Sorry.
I was like, I think that was a female director.
It is a female director. And I apologize to all the females. Martine Scorsese, Killers of a Flower Moon.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Because since I didn't do the first one, I thought we were just going.
Oh, we're just going.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're just going.
Christopher Nolan, Oppenheimer. Yorgos Lanthimos. I don't know if I butchered that one. Poor Things. And then Jonathan Glazer for Zone of Interest. Those are our nominees. I mean, Nolan's pretty much got it in the bag at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I would say because they never usually it rarely happens where
Best Picture doesn't win.
Well, no, that Best Director will win also Best Screenplay, Adapted Screenplay.
Oh yeah.
So like if Nolan wins Director, he's not going to win Screenplay. So it could go to
That's fair.
whoever else there, or vice versa.
Right.
I'm going to predict that Christopher Nolan will win. My personal pick would be Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, just because that did seem like very much a director's vision.
Yeah, it's a unique vision, definitely.
So those would be my picks and predictions.
Okay.
I didn't know if you guys felt strongly.
I mean, Scorsese can always... Yet again, the Academy and the voters love Scorsese.
It's kind of like a Spielberg, you know?
Yeah, so there's always a chance that he'll take it as like a, we don't know how many more movies he's got left kind of thing. But you know,
I don't think this one's it for Scorsese.
I mean, watching it, I know it was like a passion project for him.
Right.
He worked on it for years. He worked on the script. But
he was able to get a $200 million budget to do it.
Wild, right?
Wild, yeah.
And I mean, obviously we did a review of it, and I had my issues with how old the cast was.
Right.
Like I'm like everyone's like 10,
30
20
years older.
Yeah, than they should be. But I don't know. I didn't see anything special. Like usually with his stuff, there's something that just grips you, and it wasn't.
I thought it was good, but I wasn't amazed by it.
Yeah,
I will say,
same.
for a 3.5-hour film, it didn't feel like there was much fat in it. And it felt well
no, it's
paced.
true. Yeah.
So it was directed well in that aspect.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, so those are directors.
I mean, we really got to get to best lighting. That's really who we're trying.
That's obviously going to be John Wick 4.
I could talk about every category except documentaries. So
there you go. We can talk one of our favorites because we're all man children. Animated feature film.
Ooh,
no Disney this year. Very
Isn't
special.
that bizarre?
Well, they also got swept by they also got swept by Universal.
Suck it.
Take that, mouse.
Technically, I think Elemental's there, right?
Yes, Elemental is there.
Yeah. So Disney's subsidiary representation,
Pixar.
but no Wish. Normally, a Disney film's a shoehorn one.
Yeah, a surprise. No, even for song, right? It didn't win
no
nothing.
Well, yeah.
And
Universal surpassed them for most money for an animated film. They made more for the animated division this year than
because of
I forget about Illumination with
because I was
going to
say
Mario cleaned the clock up. I mean,
from everything.
Yeah.
Mario not nominated.
Yeah.
Wow. We've got The Boy and the Heron.
The Boy and the Heron flying around. It's Randy Newman.
Yes.
Because he's got up from the Pixar movie.
Yeah, he's got to jump on every other movie.
Elemental.
He gets hot and she gets wet.
Oh my God.
Oh God, Randy! God,
it's Randy. The other way around.
Sorry, my bad.
The guy's water.
That's not what he's talking about. Nimona. Nimona.
I got
Robot Dreams.
Sometimes I'm dreaming and it's zeros and ones. Sometimes.
And Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
I'm swinging across the Spider-Verse. So,
thank you, Randy.
Thanks, Randy.
No problem,
Thanks
guys.
for stopping by.
My pleasure.
Oh my God. So those are our nominees. Anyone have anything they want to add or think a prediction of who the winner could be?
I think it's gonna be Across Spider-Verse.
Yeah, me too. I think Across Spider-Verse. Yeah.
I'm actually predicting The Boy and the Heron. The last animated Spider-Man film won Best Picture for animated film. I have a hard... I think it's still possible, but I don't know if they'd give the sequel the award as well. They might try to go for something different.
I think they missed out. I mean, I'm surprised that Ninja Turtles didn't make it on the list.
Yeah,
I thought
seriously.
Turtles looked beautiful. I mean, really well done, beautifully done. I love Nimona. Nimona's got a special place in my heart forever. I love the style of it.
I didn't see that.
I got to see that one.
Very unique production story too, because it was originally under Blue Sky Entertainment, the studio behind Ice Age and such. Until Disney bought Fox and shut them down. And even when it was in development, they weren't giving them the freedom to tell the story they wanted to. I went to a Q&A for that one, and the director talks about
it's like the little engine that could. I love that story
about like there's a gay character in it, and apparently when they showed him the script, there was a higher up for Disney who said, let's talk about the gay stuff.
The gay stuff.
But
we love this whole story about a little woman that, this little demon girl, but can we talk about the gay stuff?
Right.
But they stood behind the vision, and eventually they were able to kind of get the people together, and through Annapurna, I believe, Pictures and Netflix actually get it made. So it's a film that could have been under Disney, but they chose not to.
No, good for them, because it's a great movie. I really dug it.
Yeah, I need to check it out.
But I think, like you, I think Boy and the Heron will take it. Being a studio Ghibli.
Was the last Ghibli movie to be nominated Howling's Moving, or what's it? I'm blanking on
the last one was The Wind Rises, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
I could be, unless if you're including the 3D animated one, maybe.
What is that?
The Twig Witch or whatever that got like bad reviews. I forgot the name.
Oh, well, I mean, was there one that he's
ones that he's won? Yeah, because
has been
Spirited Away one, I believe, and I think there was others.
The Moving Castle.
But the fun fact, the animated feature film category, I believe, is still the youngest category. It wasn't introduced until 2001. So it is still a fairly new category.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, all the movies, like I thought Boy and the Heron was visually good. I wasn't as into it compared to other Studio Ghibli movies I've seen since. So I just thought it was okay.
Which one would you say is your favorite? To put you on the spot,
maybe I've only seen, since I primarily see stuff in theaters, I've only seen like about 7 others so far, and I'd maybe Spirited Away. That was part of a 4-movie marathon, and that was the 4th movie, so I was a little worn out towards the end. But that might, if I was feeling good, that might be my pick. But I really liked Howl's Moving Castle as well. I thought that was really creative. And then Elemental, it's a standard story. I enjoyed it. Robot Dreams, that's a Spanish film, but with no dialogue. I thought it was interesting at the beginning, but then kind of got a little repetitive, and I
like a bunch of zeros and ones,
like a couple zeros and ones.
Nimona, I thought was fun. I don't know if I'd pick it though, but I would recommend it. And then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, really good, but it does have that big cliffhanger ending.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's a part 1 of something. And I don't think
that's a harder cliffhanger than Dune Part 1, I feel.
And I think they revolutionized the look of animation with the first one, and they didn't really go too far off the path with this one. I mean, they changed some stuff around with the way like characters looked, and how Spider-Punk was animated.
Well, yeah, they had multiple animations within the animation where like the room could match the person's emotions or aura and stuff like that.
Yeah, very great animation, and for probably $80 million less than what Elemental cost.
Yeah,
which was still good animation, but
I liked it better when it was called Zootopia. Thank you.
Boo! Bing bong.
Shots fired.
But I didn't know if Chad or Stan, if you guys had any opinions on the animated films.
I mean, for this category here, I mean,
Yeah.
Justice for Turtles.
The only one that I've watched, unfortunately, is Spider-Man. I haven't seen Elemental or The Boy and the Heron. I've heard really good things about them. I really want to see Nimona, and so I mean, I'm unfortunately I'm lagging on this category. I've only seen the one, so it's been nominated.
Well, it makes
Chad?
it easy pick for you then.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm in the same boat as Stan there with Spider-Verse, but I will say The Boy and the Heron probably has a strong chance of winning, only because you reminded me that Spider-Verse did end on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Maybe The Boy and the Heron might take it just because it's a full rounded movie. And
Also, how old is the director now? He's 80s?
He's old, though. This was his final film, but then like a week after it came out in Japan, he said, I'm working on my next one now.
You know what?
But I feel like they might give it to him for, yet again, the
yeah.
lifetime work that he's put in. And, you know,
True.
like you said, most of his best work, they didn't have this category for.
Right.
Then he's like, I don't even paint these things.
So the Oscars, are you going to watch them live, Justin? Do you usually have an Oscars watch party that you don't tell us
with
about?
myself? No. Sometimes I'll watch it. I wish they got it. They're having like Jimmy Kimmel for the host, like for the 20th time. I wish they got
he's a
someone
safe
else.
bet.
Yeah, exactly. Not offensive.
Boo.
He's
But-
entertaining?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
How much you want to bet they have a slap joke at the Oscars?
Oh.
I don't think they will.
Really?
That's been
That's
2
pretty.
years.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty.
They did it last year.
Yeah.
Oh, they did?
They did.
Yeah,
I don't think I
they
watched
had they had
Did I
the
watch
fake.
Oscars?
They had a security guy there to make sure no one got slapped. You know, they made a joke about it.
Oh, okay.
Well, not in that sense, but like, like just a one-off joke or like go make remarks. Like, you're not going to come up here, are you? You know,
Yeah,
that type
I'm
of
sure.
Oh, well, that
thing,
could. Yeah,
you know,
sometimes
I
they
mean,
improvise.
improvise. So
Yeah.
Slap joke
so-
drinking game.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, you gonna watch them, Justin? Do you usually watch?
I might watch it.
You'll read it after and be like,
Well,
right.
Yeah.
I like to
Just
listen
scrolling
to
Twitter.
reaction videos and stuff.
Oh, I
about
see.
it.
You kids and your reactions.
Yeah.
If I had a group of people who'd be interested, maybe I'd watch it. All
put
the
Would you
money
cook
down?
up little Oscar Mayer weenies? Little weenies in a blanket?
Yeah. Would you?
What was the question?
Sorry. You go, Stan.
No, mine was a joke too. You put any money down on it?
Money?
Yeah.
Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
I got $20.
No, if I were to put money down, it would be Best International Feature Film because one of those is up for Best Picture.
Okay.
So
Which one's that?
Zone of Interest.
Which is
well, duh.
weird.
It happens every
British
year.
movie. So.
Right.
Well, the criteria is it has to be outside the U.S. and primarily a foreign language that isn't English.
Yeah, it's true.
So if it's a Canadian film, but like let's say it's French, it would be eligible. But if it was
What does the French say?
but let's say it was like a film from Egypt, but it was in English, it would be ineligible.
Oh. Okay.
So it has to not be in English and from a different country.
Wow.
That's the criteria.
All right.
Okay. Well,
This is how we get a movie.
Hey,
to get an
yo.
Oscar
There you go.
right there.
Right there.
Well, you'd have to move out of the country for a bit.
That's
but
there you go. That's all right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't ever watch the Oscars. I don't think they're as relevant as used to be. But I mean, I'm always interested in just checking out the end result. I'll usually tune in for like the last 10, 15 minutes just to see who wins Best Picture, Best Actor, Actress, and Director. So that's usually those are the only four I think most people care about.
I miss the Billy Crystal intros where he puts
Yeah, those
himself
are
in
good.
all the movies. And
Those
he's
are good.
like, oh, hello, Keanu Reeves. I need to drive this bus. Or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
And those were always fun.
Those
But,
were fun. Yeah.
But not anymore.
Not
We're
anymore.
Straight to business.
Mm-hmm.
Straight to business.
Well, it's still a 3-hour show, so they're
No,
trying,
it
to,
is.
Yeah,
trying
no,
to cut
yeah.
the fat
I
wherever
know.
they can.
Right.
Well, they got to...
But every time they cut categories, people get mad.
they're introducing a new category in 2025 for Best Casting. I didn't know if you had any opinions on that.
Best casting?
Yep. So, for best, basically for the casting director.
Oh,
so not best ensemble,
right,
but best casting.
And it goes to the casting director. I mean, like, it's kind of a thankless job. I mean,
right.
we see these movies with amazing cast, and we go like, oh, the director did such a good job. And like most of the time, the director, though he's there and is there for the decision, he doesn't put those people in the room. You know.
Yeah.
The only person who should win, although she's retired, is Andrea Romano.
Oh yeah,
Casted all the Batman the Animated Series and
most of DC
and DCU.
stuff.
Yeah. She should win post, not Humus because she's not dead.
No, but post-retired.
Post-retired,
Yeah,
yes.
some type of special award.
Yeah.
That's
And in terms of like the geeky stuff, which we're into, the nerdy stuff, John Williams is nominated for score for Indiana Jones.
What?
Your favorite?
I mean,
Dial
John
Destiny.
Williams. I mean, they did that just because it's John Williams.
I feel like
You know.
this is his possibly his
Yeah.
final score.
I'm sure he's
and-
going to win it too.
No, he said he wants to continue
man,
until
they-
he's
all these
100
assholes
something.
that keep
Hope
going.
so.
Speaking of
He's
John
like,
Williams,
nah, I can't end on this one.
Speaking of John Williams, I saw this video online. I was like, "What?" Because it just it kept scaling it up all the way, and like it started with the Care Bears theme song, like Gummy Bears theme song, where it's like Gummy Bears. The person who sings that also was the voice of adult Simba in Lion King.
Oh, interesting.
Who's singing, at least the singing part of it.
Okay, because I was
and
going to
then-
say Matthew Broderick.
No, yeah, but for the singing part. And then he is also the lead singer of Toto, of
of course,
Africa.
yeah.
And then he is also the son of John Williams.
Yep.
And I was like, what? It just kept going up. I was like, oh my god! I thought it was gonna say like something even more crazier.
Well, and crazier than that, Toto, the band, were actually like a group of session musicians. They weren't like
really?
And they were actually on the Thriller album
What?
as background musicians. So in the year, I think it was 1984, when their album came out, Thriller also came out. So they had two of the top albums of all time in 1 year.
That's
Wow.
nuts.
So there you go.
What a great year for them.
It was, that's when they peaked.
Yep.
And then they looked up in the sky, and the Goodyear blimp
much
came
further
by.
could you go, you know.
And then he was like, I'm going to be the voice of Simba one day.
Yes.
And then the
Singing.
Goodyear blimp came by, and it's like, it's gonna be a good year.
Oscars, check them out. We will be watching, probably, maybe not, but we're still
Or
interested.
watching YouTube highlights after the fact.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tune in the last 10, 15 minutes maybe.
We're bringing it to you live. We're outside the Sony Theater.
Yes.
I don't know where they're broadcasting it.
It's the Dolby Theater.
The Dolby
Dolby Theater,
Theater.
yeah.
But
Hollywood.
We're going to be hitting the red carpet hot. We're going to be talking to all the celebs.
What are you wearing?
We'll be getting kicked out within 5 minutes.
No, we'll keep it clean. We'll keep it good.
Chad will be doing his Randy Newman for every nominee.
Hey, everybody. Come on over.
Come on over.
Come on over, baby.
And we also have started a couple shows. The one that we've, I think all of us have started, right? Was Shogun.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
What do you guys think of it?
I love it.
So good. And
I love
Amazing.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautifully shot.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous. I mean, like, it's like, I mean, I know it's a mini series, so they have a lot of money involved, but it was just like, God, beautifully done. And like, everything looks like, I don't feel like they're on a volume.
Right.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
everything looks built and made.
Yeah.
And,
yes.
you know, you got a little violence, you got a little titty action. I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
For a Hulu show or an FX show. Pretty
So
impressive.
it's a remake of the 1980 Shogun miniseries.
Technically a novel.
Novel, right? Yeah.
Yep.
But but it's based on the novel, which is it seems like it's kind of hard to see nowadays. I don't think it's streaming anywhere.
Oh, the original.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure it's out there on on hard copy, but
We know a guy.
yeah, you know,
I know a guy who knows.
and the basic story is that a Westerner is at least with the remake, he's shipwrecked on near Japan, but it seems he is on a warship trying to force trade on behalf of the English into Japan, which is kind of kept a secret by Portugal.
Yeah, Portugal.
Japan is its own nation; it's its own sovereign nation, but
Yeah.
Portugal is the sole trading partner with them.
Yeah.
And Portugal doesn't want anybody else interfering with that. And of course, this takes place in 1600, so it's at a time when Portugal, France, England, Spain are all pretty much at war, and competing for the New World and the East together because they're the major powers in the world at the time. They have the naval resources to back their separate countries up. And so, yeah, I mean, I thought it was also very beautifully shot. This English guy gets caught up in this power struggle between these rival clans in Japan. And he kind of uses leverage, that information that he knows that the Portuguese are basically
amassing forces
to permanently control Japan. There's a great scene in there where they released the first 2 episodes, but there's a great scene in there where the Englishman Blackstone, I think is his last name,
Blackthorn,
Blackthorn, basically tells the Japanese the Portuguese say that Japan is theirs and it belongs to them.
They own everything on this side of the world,
right? And they are massing forces on a secret base in Macau. But the greatest part that I loved about that scene was he says they say Japan belongs to him, and the Japanese warlords that he's talking to, they say, "Did he really say belongs?
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, no,
So
Japan
good.
doesn't belong to anybody but us. You know,
Yeah.
we don't care who the Portuguese are or what kind of trade we have with them.
And you really don't get like what his motivation. Like, obviously he's trying to save his own neck,
right? He's trying to save his crew,
and just try to be like, what leverage do I have? And
Exactly.
who do I have to make friends with to survive?
Yeah.
But I mean, is he doing this for honorable reasons? Is he not? We don't really know.
Yeah.
Well, I feel through the performance, at least with the first 2 episodes, that he is conveying that it's a little bit more than survival. Like, obviously, it is for survival, but then there's also in regards to the Portuguese, there's something deep in there that's just like there's a real reason why he hates them that much.
Yeah.
And like, because at least from
He's a Protestant.
Well, yeah. There's that, but there's also his ship logs where they're designated to, if they come across any Portuguese base, to blow it out of the
Right.
To obliterate them. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just like,
I mean, he's an English privateer, so he's obligated to attack his enemies wherever he sees them. Yeah. England's enemies.
And from because there was a 3rd episode last night as well.
Oh, I did see that. Great.
Yeah. And it doesn't. I can't really tell if he's, because the Japanese think he's a pirate, or
Right.
at least they keep saying he's
saying
a
he's a
pirate.
pirate.
Portuguese keep telling him.
But I think I think he's in the from my opinion, or at least what's been conveyed, is that he is just a sailor and he's on the mission with his men.
He's a pilot. They say
He's a pilot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And pilots, like with the regarding to Dune, with the tank navigators, they're I kind of feel like they're very holy in this show, Shogun, because it's like, oh no, we need the pilot for because they're the only ones who can direct the ship,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just like,
And they show off his prowess when the ship is in the storm.
yes,
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
like, no, row. And he learns like the Japanese word to row. And,
Yeah.
He's trying to pick up the language wherever he can to kind of, prove that he's got some
merit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no. And like, I love his back and forth with the Portuguese pilot, that they kind of become
Rodriguez, the Spaniard,
rivals but friends a little bit too.
Yeah. He's very lucky. He keeps running into people that speak his language.
Right.
Yeah.
Very much
Like
so,
he's
yeah.
one in the prison. There's one like the father is like, oh yeah, I speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
Well, and it was interesting. So the Catholicism has been integrated somewhat into Japanese society this year.
Yeah.
There's some Japanese who are Catholics, but it seems the majority of Japanese aren't.
Yeah.
They're
still
I think that
Yeah.
the Buddhists or Shintoists,
It's like the movie Silence, if you ever seen that.
right, exactly. I was just thinking about Silence.
Now-
I think this takes place right before that, before all the Westerners were expelled from Japan because of the meddling that went
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
For the movie Silence, though, were they Portuguese?
They were
or-
Portuguese.
They were. So like
They're
Liam
Catholic
Neeson
priests,
and
Yeah, and
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield
Yeah.
and
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver.
Okay.
are
For some
all
reason-
sent by the Portuguese to church to kind of
Right.
reclaim the flock.
because since Liam Neeson was casted, I was like, oh, it's obviously gonna be like Irish or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that. But I was like, okay, so that makes sense now that it's Portuguese.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't really. I knew some of the history. I didn't really know that the Portuguese were the ones that had claimed Japan as their trading
Well, and kept
partner.
it secret. Yeah.
And kept it secret. Yeah.
What was the
trade route
pathway
to
they?
it.
Magellan's path.
Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Magellan's
which is
Pass.
the
Yeah.
way across the globe.
Right. Yeah, and so apparently in England, as most of English history, they're at war with everybody.
Yep.
You know.
Hey, it
So they.
happens.
That's what we do.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
For the colony.
Forgotten country.
Wait, what language are you guys speaking right now?
Yeah, it's right. You got us. You got us there.
Hey,
you got us
Jesus. You know?
Damn right.
You don't say yo hablo español, eh? But damn, Spain, damn.
Io parlo italiano.
There you go. See. But yeah, it's a great storyline where this one guy's getting caught up in this rivalry between houses or between clans, I should say, and they need his ship, which has superior guns on it, to be able to show force against the other clans. So there is one clan.
I love the inner politics.
The inner politics are very complicated.
Not Shogun.
There are 5 clans who are ruling. One is going to be picked the Shogun. But it seems like the smaller but kind of yet more powerful house, they want him out.
Yeah, because he's amassing power, and they're like, well, if we all gang up against him, we can expel him.
Yeah,
and
claim more power for ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, and 3 of the houses are under Portugal's control with religion and money, bribery, they're one of the heads, the one with leprosy.
Yeah,
I really like his makeup and design and shit like that.
Yeah,
but part of me always thinks like, what it would be silly, but it would just make it for me if he just had a high pitched voice, kind of like Gary Oldman in Hannibal when he's like Cordell, you know, that type of, you know, but. That
it might be Gary Oldman. We don't know.
I mean,
it's true. Yeah.
You never know.
When he's not out wrestling people.
Yeah. I love those clips, man.
Yeah, they're great.
That's great.
Shogun, check it out. I haven't seen the latest episode.
Yeah,
but
I was really surprised with the violence. Like,
but you know what's funny is the violence wasn't. It starts off slow. You usually with these kind of shows, you start off with like a fight or a battle or something like that. But the violence, when it's kind of it's kind of subdued.
Yeah.
But when it happens, it's like, holy shit.
It is. I mean,
and it comes out of nowhere. Oh my god. Well, the first one that really got to me was because again, this is feudal Japan, a lot of samurai. You think that you would expect more sword fights, this and that, more violence in general. But it doesn't really happen that often. And then they're parading the captured Englishman through the town, and one of the villagers goes up to him and is doing the sign of the cross.
Yeah.
And, are you Catholic? Are you Catholic? And all of a sudden he just gets his head cut off. And you're like, I was like, I even jumped for a little. I was like, oh shit! Like, whoa, what happened?
The scene where they boil.
Oh god!
Alive. Yeah.
Like I was like, holy shit, so gory.
Yeah.
And then
Bobby Lee was right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he just like smashes his own head to stop the pain.
Yeah.
And
he would have just done that originally.
And they show that samurai is like,
I don't think you have the. Yeah.
Like that samurai is just enthralled with death and like what everyone goes through in their final moments.
Yeah, he just wants to like record
he's
it.
Sick, weird dude.
But yeah, so at the last scenes of the second episode, which again I haven't seen the third, but they sent an assassin in to try and kill the Englishman. Good. Holy shit, that was insane!
Just quick kills.
Yeah, she's just murking people left and right. But the it's also they captured like the swordplay of the samurai very well, because when she enters the room thinking that's where the Englishman is, you just kind of see the sword just come out of nowhere that clips her neck.
Yeah.
And it's what's his name? The actor that plays it.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
I want to say it's Hiryo, but I'm gonna butcher it. So I gotta look it up real quick.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pretend I know it.
Hiroyuki Sanada.
Yeah.
I always mess his name up.
Good.
Yeah, I don't want to mess his name up, but I always. Yeah. But yeah, so he cuts her very quickly with the sword, and then he just sheathes it again.
Yeah.
And then she's bleeding out, and he doesn't even draw a sword. He just pushes her out.
Yeah.
Of the house there.
Falls into that sand garden.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
So yeah, the violence is like it's very subdued, but when it happens, it's pretty brutal.
Mm-hmm. Now,
which is amazing.
Since you haven't seen the third episode, I will say it escalates in the next one that you'll be watching. So
I'm excited to watch it.
It's great. It's a great episode.
I can't wait.
I was like, that's my favorite so far of the series, the third episode.
Have you watched it at all, Justin?
No. If it's TV, I probably haven't seen it.
What's up with that, dude?
It's got to be on the big screen.
You just don't like TV shows?
What if there was like a dedicated theater that played TV on the big screen? Would
like
you go
a Fathom
to watch
event or something?
Yeah.
If I knew I could watch the whole season, then yes, I would go.
Okay.
You would sit there for like 9 hours.
Well, no, if it was like, if they
did
did maybe like a weekly, like, the next episode this week at the theater, something like that.
Yeah, I'd be up for it. But yeah,
what is it about TV that you don't like, dude? You just don't have the... No, I'm just...
Fuck you, man.
I like some series. I just I watch so many movies that when I'm home, I just like to do other stuff.
Yeah. Do you turn it on in the background at all? Like TV? Like in the background? Sorry.
My family does, but I don't personally know. I haven't used the TV myself in quite some time.
Okay. Can I have your TV?
There you go.
It's my dad would not want that, but
there you go. Is Mr. Dorris, video games you're playing right now? Because Justin also has a mass video game collection.
Is that mostly what you do at home?
He's writing it in his
also haven't played a game in a long time, but I do have a lot. If you guys ever come over, then I could...
Well, you never invited us inside, dude.
No, we were invited inside. He cleaned. He
did
cleaned
clean.
for us.
I was making sure it was clean.
And we did not enter the building.
Well, it was raining, too.
It was.
We didn't want to track mud.
Plus, also, I think it'd be kind of... Your parents would be kind of weirded out that, like... They probably think we're all, like, your age, like, in their early 20s, and all these, like, 40-year-old men walk in your house. She'd be like, what the
With
fuck?
muddy boots.
Yeah.
No, I said you guys were older.
Did you say how old?
She probably like 32.
Was Chris Hansen in there? Is that what's
I have a seat.
Hey, Stan.
Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Doris.
I saw your emails.
To Justin.
Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Doris. Where do you keep your liquor?
Hey,
how about those inflation prices? Huh?
Oh, man. Gas.
Hey, my birthday's
what
next
kind of interest
month.
rate you getting this
There
house?
you go.
I would like to set up maybe a Mario Kart LAN.
We're doing it.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, let's do it.
That could be fun.
Let's do it. He's going to whoop all our asses.
But yeah,
Probably.
I heard Shogun's a really
Like he
good
did in Nidhogg. A game that he claimed he never played but beat us all.
No, I
I
played
get
it.
super
It was
mad every
just
time we lost.
Blindfolded.
Yeah.
I haven't played in a while, but I still got it.
All right. You don't have to brag.
But yeah, I heard good things about Shogun. Actually, I think my dad was watching the 3rd episode when I left to come here.
Show, dude. You should check it out.
But yeah, though I know Catholicism was mentioned, and I could tell a short story about Catholicism.
Please, go ahead.
Sure.
My dad, who works on air conditioning units, I think this was in the 80s, he went to do one for a big Catholic church. And there was this lady who brought in her dog, and she wanted her dog to have a ceremony at the church, a funeral.
A funeral.
And then the... what do you call the head of the church?
The priest?
Priest, yep.
You know, one of those guys.
The Pope?
The bishop?
Technically, the head of the church is the Pope.
He said, no, we can't do dogs. And then, and this is while my dad's working on the unit, then she says, I was really hoping I could. I was planning on donating $5,000 to the church and everything. Oh. And my dad's... The priest literally says, "Oh, I didn't know your dog was Catholic." Of course we could have the ceremony.
The dog went through confirmation.
And my dad was just shocked.
Wow.
Just the funniest thing ever.
Oh my god.
Well, the Catholic Church taking bribes is nothing new.
Yeah, like
at all. And I was raised Catholic, so yeah, I know. Yeah. You're Protestant, aren't you?
That's my contribution to Shogun.
You're Protestant, aren't you? You brought a Protestant?
What's up?
You were brought a Protestant?
I was brought a Catholic.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We're all Catholics here.
I was about to say, we got to start fighting now.
Yeah.
Just like a Shogun.
Well, like if I were her, I would have brought the movie All Dogs Go to Heaven and be like, well, this movie says different.
Yeah.
And I'm
What's
not
your response?
Yeah, and there's a sequel, so we're gonna sit and watch both these, and then you're gonna perform my dog's funeral. So
exactly.
Get behind that
the
little
dog get the last rites and everything.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty impressive.
Although at the Placito Rivera Church in downtown LA, they do a day where you can bring your pets and the priest will bless them, throw holy water on them.
Even a snake?
All pets, all animals. Yeah.
Not my garden, dude.
Yeah, well,
not my garden.
Hey, I guess that. Yeah, I'll take them too.
What if I brought an apple?
That's not a pet.
What if it was my pet and they just have
I don't think it works
pet
like
rock? I could just call anything a pet. Like, look at my pet can.
If you donated $5,000, then it's a Catholic.
There you go.
There you go. Then you can bring whatever you want.
Yeah. Let's bring this.
Bring the Dune bucket.
We'll marry it. We'll get married.
Well, the priest will probably like to take it. No, I'm not gonna say that.
It's like, no, you've already consummated.
So yeah, Shogun. check it out.
Yes.
Catholic dogs, check them out.
Catholic dogs.
Yeah.
That's how when you go to the pound to rescue a dog, make sure they're Catholic.
Exactly. But they can be baptized. It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we can baptize
You
dogs.
can convert.
Hey, I'll baptize your dog.
There you go.
I'll take that online test that lets me.
If the dog is circumcised, you know it's Jewish. So,
I mean,
yeah.
How else do you know it's a Catholic dog?
But when you say "peace be with you," it goes, and then you're like, "Oh, okay."
There you go.
That's makes no sense, but okay.
What do you mean?
No, you're right.
Yeah. Peace be with you, and also with you. And it goes,
Oh, is it saying peace be?
Yeah, it's saying,
you?
and it's saying, yeah,
Oh,
it's doing the call and response.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
See?
Okay.
Amen. Yeah.
Moving on. Has anybody watched Masters of the Air? It's the Apple Plus series about the World War II 100th Bomb Group that flew the B-17s in World War II.
Austin Butler?
Yeah, Austin Butler.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I've only seen clips. I've been meaning to jump in.
It's
and
very
watch.
good. If any of you have to have Apple Plus, which is some people don't like that, but it's actually I think it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It takes place in the mid 1940s the early 1940s during the Second World War, about the 100th Bomb Group. It's a true story about the group that flew the B-17s over Europe and bombed Nazi Germany.
Oh, okay.
Bombed their factories, bombed their armaments.
The dam buster kind of stuff.
I think that was a little different, but yeah,
Okay.
that was. This was more just like a mass bombing of like carpet bombing of like industrial sites that the
Trains as well?
Germans. Trains, dockings for ships, ball bearing factories. It was a big one that they did. It's based on a true story, and it just shows how what these pilots had to go through, these crews had to go through, how they're just completely being annihilated, shot down by German pilots in flak. Austin Butler's in it. Caleb Turner.
You're in double dose of Butler.
Yeah, I know. He's in everything.
He's everywhere.
Now. Yeah.
And it's another Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks production.
It is,
right?
yeah. It's pretty the same production company that did
Pacific
Band of Brothers.
Pacific,
Band of
yeah,
Brothers.
Band of Brothers, Pacific, and it's in that same vein, of course. Those they Spielberg and Hanks love the
Yeah,
World War II
yeah,
series.
Hanks is a huge history
right,
nerd.
big,
so.
yeah, both of them. And so I recommend it. It's pretty graphic. Shows obviously
Is
a
it
lot of these guys.
a miniseries or
It's a miniseries, yeah, and it builds up. The crazy thing about the show is that it builds up all these main characters, and then it starts killing them off immediately. Every time they go on a mission, one of the characters, or one or more of the characters, end up either getting shot down or you just see them just die. So it's pretty heartfelt. It's an amazing story. And now in this next episode, they drop one every Friday, is going to introduce the 99th Fighter Group, the Tuskegee Airmen, who were escorts for the fighter bombers. One of the escorts for the fighter bombers and fought the Luftwaffe, which was the German Air Force, in dogfighting. So yeah, that's the next episode.
Oh yeah,
It's supposed to be.
I was looking it up, but it was reminding me of the movie Memphis Belle.
Yeah, exactly.
From
It's yeah. I mean, Memphis
I
Belle.
I love that movie.
Yeah, Memphis Belle is very practical. They use real planes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of CGI. Some of the CGI looks a little wonky, but in the air, obviously they to make it look real, they had to use CGI. They can't Memphis Belle used actual planes, and they were some of it was was well done, some of it wasn't, but they had technology at the time, but this is the CGI on this is very well done, especially the aerial battles. It's pretty brutal.
Better than the Rocketeer.
Nothing's better than Rocketeer.
Nothing's better than Rocketeer, dude. Nah, I can't beat that.
Punch a Nazi and then rock it off. Nothing beats
dude.
that.
What the fuck are we gonna get a Rocketeer?
Oh yeah, man.
series
I really
or something
want
or a movie.
What's
What's going on?
I don't know.
What's going on? Disney just forgot. I think Disney just forgot about that.
No,
Well, they
There's
made
not
it-
even any of the theme parks about the Rocketeer.
they-
What?
Oh,
Justin was about to
Yeah,
chime
go ahead,
in with
Justin.
some Rocketeer knowledge.
I think it's either a Disney Plus series or a movie, but they're planning on doing one, but it's a female Rocketeer this
Boom.
time. So I'm
I don't
sure
know if you
Stan
guys
is
heard
excited.
Stan's eyes roll to the back
I
of his
didn't
head.
do anything. That's
He
I don't know what you're
immediately
talking
just
about.
mouthed the Woketeer.
Look, no, just make it good. That's it. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just make it good.
Yeah.
All I care is a good story. I don't care what the gender of the character is. Just make it a good story. But we haven't been getting a lot of good stuff from Disney Plus lately.
No,
Unfortunately,
yeah,
so.
it's
I don't know. They're
slim pickings.
back to Masters of the Air. How would you grade that? Or like if you were to rank, well, yeah, I know, but as of right now, so far, where would you pit it against Band of Brothers in the Pacific?
Ooh. I would definitely put Band of Brothers first. I'd put Masters of the Air after that, and the Pacific last.
Okay. Really?
Pacific I thought was really well done, but it got a little repetitive towards the end. And this is they kind of do this production company, Playtone, which is Tom Hanks's company. They tend to do this thing where it's like one episode's action, heavily action based, the other's like more chill.
Based.
Yeah, and the Pacific spent a lot of time with some of the characters like backstories, especially like in country.
Yeah.
You know, outside of the battle. It's like there was a whole storyline in Australia. There was a whole storyline for one of the other characters. He was back in the States, like trying to raise money. And it's just like it kind of drags down the story.
Yeah.
I understand what they're trying to do. They have to show these characters, you know, what they went through because they're real people and they're telling their story. John Basilone is the person I'm talking about, who went on like a bond raising tour after he won the Medal of Honor. Then he went back. He volunteered to go back to the fight, and he was killed in combat. And so he's like a huge revered like figure in the Marine Corps now. But it just kind of I understand what they have to do, but it kind of also takes away from the momentum of the story itself. Because one moment you're in these like really heavy pitched battles, and next he's in Hollywood sleeping with starlets, and you're like, I get it. And then he meets his wife, and they have to show that, but. It
takes really, away from
it takes away a lot.
Dynamic.
Yeah, so then all of a sudden the next episode they're back in combat.
Right. And it sounds like they wanted to make a movie about that guy, but they were like, we can't justify a movie on that guy.
Right.
Yeah. We can throw it into the show.
I mean, Masters of the Air does it too. It's just that it works a little better because when they build up all these characters that you think are going to make it toward the end, and in the first and second episode they're already getting picked off. You're like, holy shit! So you don't really get to know even Austin Butler. Spoiler. They make it look like he dies in one of the episodes. They don't really show anything, but it's like, oh shit, Austin Butler's character didn't make it back too, and this Austin Butler. He's supposed to be the main character, and eventually, they explain what happened to him. But for a while, you're like, whoa, shit, they really killed him off. Wow.
That's because they're gonna bring him back in a future episode as Elvis entering the military, like just one of the movies on him.
Yeah, that could be.
Oh man, these planes, man.
He was stationed in Stuttgart, Germany, too.
Yeah, there you go.
Elvis, ironically enough.
There you go.
See? I recommend it, and check it out.
I had the opportunity to see the first 3 or 4 episodes in a theater like a month ago, but I knew that would bug me if I was,
not
left
all the way.
unfinished.
Masters of the Air?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But
didn't invite Stan, huh?
Seriously.
Well, I think he was busy that day, and that's
no. I don't think that's what happened.
This was like
check his calendar here.
This was late January, early February. I forgot.
No, I wasn't busy.
I do think it's funny though that unlike the Pacific and Band of Brothers, that like Austin Butler and one other guy are American, and then the rest of the cast are like British and Irish people playing Americans.
Yeah. That's what I love about Band of Brothers. They were in the war. That's it. They're in the war. Like they had a little bit of downtime in England and other places, but
the training.
That's it. Yeah, and the training was the only kind of like civilian experience you saw them have. The rest of the time, they're in combat. They take a little bit of a break in England after. And
then like the last 2 to 3 episodes, it's kind of like the war's dying down.
It's dying down, but they're still losing people because there's still accidents happening. Yeah. There's a murder at one point. So it's just
they
that's
find
it.
The camps.
Yeah, they find the camps, but the entire series is them focused on the war. They're not like back in the States having relationship issues, which is always like I don't know. It always bugs me sometimes.
I was talking about the actors' nationalities.
Actors' nationalities. What do you mean?
How most like cast
they
were
were
actors.
American actors in the previous 2 ones, but this one only has like 2 or 3 American actors, and the rest are like British or Irish actors playing Americans.
Yeah, that's something that happened. Well, the main character who played Dick Winters in Band of Brothers he's British.
Damien Llewellyn.
Yeah. So and
Michael Fassbender was there. There's a few Brits.
A lot of movies. There was that movie.
A few Brits. We get there.
Yeah, you do. The Brits and the Australians. I lost my train of thought, but that happens a lot. Black Hawk Down. That's what I was saying.
Oh yeah.
Black Hawk Down is a movie
Similar.
about the Mogadishu incident in the 90s involving U.S. Army Rangers a lot of those guys are Australian.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know.
I just
Ewan
think it's funny.
McGregor's
Yeah.
in there. And
Ewan McGregor, Carl Urban,
Eric Bana.
Eric Bana,
Oh, yeah.
you know, what? Is Carl Urban? Yeah, he's Australian.
Yeah.
So it's just like
New Zealand.
New Zealand, that's right. So it's just like, yeah, I mean that's been something we're kind of used to. So no big deal.
Surprised they didn't have Ethan Hawke in that movie. Because Black Hawk Down is Hawk. And then,
Anyway,
I saw the title. It just shows up.
hey, my name's Ethan Hawke.
And we recently went back. We recently all checked out a Studio Ghibli. I hope I'm saying it right.
Yeah, Ghibli's right.
Ghibli. A Studio Ghibli marathon at
Is
the.
it GIF or GIF? I don't know.
It's GIF. It's GIF. A Studio Ghibli. A marathon at the Egyptian Theater, which is now owned by Netflix in Hollywood. We all checked it out. We saw 3 movies back to back: Kiki's Delivery Service, Porco Rosso, and Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. These were all movies that came out in the 90s and 80s.
35 millimeter.
35 millimeter, which is really nice. I had never seen any of these films before. Of course, I knew about them, but I just never had checked them out.
I've never seen Kiki's like on a big screen before.
It was my first time seeing any of these, and I saw them on big screen, which was in 35 millimeter, which was great. My favorite was Kiki's Delivery Service. It was a very cute movie.
I love Porco.
Porco, yeah.
Mine might have been Nausicaa.
Oh, hey, each got one movie.
There you go. What did you like that one best, Justin?
Wait, we need Chad to determine what.
Chad, have you seen any of these?
Nope.
You didn't show up to the.
We can go down the line because they showed.
You haven't shown any of these? You haven't seen any of these?
No, I haven't seen any.
Well, then fuck off from this conversation.
Stan, do you want to explain why you like Kiki's?
I like Kiki's because it was just I like the music. There was again this was a movie that was made in '89. It's these are all animated films, obviously. And the beginning where she's kind of learning how to fly her broom, but she's not, and she has her cat Gigi.
Yeah.
Her familiar is because she's a witch, so she's flying around her broom. And she asks Gigi to turn on the radio, and then she turns on the radio. The movie's already started. It's already like 10 minutes in, maybe something like that. And she tells Gigi, like, turn on the radio, and then the music takes over, and then she's flying around.
Yeah,
I loved it. It was just very well shot. It's very well done. Kiki is super cute. And all the characters are just likable, and there's not really a ton of like conflict inside the movie. It's just her just kind of trying
slice
to
of life.
Yeah, it's just her just trying to figure out her
new business and
trying to start a new business, trying to learn what her powers are, and then she begins to kind of not believe in herself as much, so she loses her powers. So then it's about her getting those back, and just kind of doing
Spider-Man 2 moment.
Exactly, Spider-Man 2. That's good. Yeah, it's a good example. Spider-Man 2 ripped this off. Yeah, So yeah, it's just a fun, wholesome movie with awesome characters. I love Gigi. The cat, and that's what I liked. I mean, I like the other two, so much. Nausicaa had a very it was a post-apocalyptic film, but I said this earlier when we were there. It has a very like heavy metal, like 1970s look to it. And feel. Yeah, it's definitely a film of its era.
A reason why, Justin, you enjoyed that one more than the others.
Yeah, I mean, I like Kiki. I didn't feel like it achieved the same like emotional weight as something like a My Neighbor Totoro, which is kind of similar, just living the life. Yeah, and then like I wish that maybe a different ending. I don't know, but I still enjoyed it. And then Porco Rosso, or is that
Porco Rosso?
Porco Rosso.
I think it is Porco Rosso.
I thought it was still good. I
think the air battle sequences in that movie are shot so beautifully.
Yeah, they are.
And just he's just such a great character. He's just this it's very like Cyrano de Bergerac kind of feel. This kind of like he's an ugly creature, but he's like just this loud, bombastic character that everyone kind of loves.
And he's a pig. He's a fighter pilot who's like mad but was turned into a pig. Yeah. Never explain how or why.
He just cursed and turned into a pig.
Yeah, he's just a
Guys, no need to talk about me like that.
You would love it.
Yeah,
and I like that scene that I remember Stan you mentioning of when he's in the air and then he sees like all the other fallen soldiers.
There's a part where
they basically fly up to heaven.
He's about to die basically, and then he sees this kind of like mist in the air. It's like this trail, and then he sees that it's the other fighter pilots who have died, who were all together.
Yeah,
and that's
beautifully.
It's
oh god,
it's very beautifully shot.
I'm
He's
in a
flying above the
Bermuda
clouds.
Triangle.
Right, and it has the most humor out of the three movies. I feel like it was a really great cross section of all three films. I thought, like Kiki is beautifully done. I mean, just like the way that he's able to capture the wind, where you see her her opening shot is her lying in a field, and you see every blade of grass moving, and you realize like this is all hand animated.
Yeah,
there's it's just gorgeous, and and then the comedy and the thrills of the air battles.
Yes,
and then finally you had this beautifully like post-apocalyptic, epic scale, giant battles, giant bugs. Very there's a comic book artist in the 70s named Morbius who did a lot of like French comic book stuff that like had that kind of look and feel. So yeah, I loved all three movies. Were fantastic. It was a good cross section. I thought.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely. Each one is very different from the last.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
I think I like the world building in Nausicaa a lot, and that kind of universe. It kind of I guess like felt like Studio Ghibli's Dune almost.
Yes, no, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially with the large bugs that the ohms. Yeah, like very sandworm-esque.
Yeah, I had a great time. I'm glad I got to see it. When you had brought this up, Justin, I was like, yeah, this would be a great. I've always wanted to see these films. And so I was like, yeah, I definitely.
Yeah, it was a fun group to go with. You know, so thank you, thank you for the invite.
Thank you. I wish that the Egyptian sold actual food though, because it was pretty early. Started pretty early in the morning at 10 in the morning, and they went till like 3 or something.
They had nothing.
They didn't have coffee when I first got there, and I was like, God damn! And all I had was chocolate and popcorn. Like, the hell is this?
Well, there's the. Well, I don't know if the bar is open that early on the side of the Egyptian, but
the American Cinematheque runs it, which is typically on Friday through Sunday. They have the concessions very limited. It's like popcorn, candy, and your standard drinks and such.
Yeah.
When Netflix is running it, which it typically isn't the special events, then they have like actual food and more items. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they're a nonprofit and it's a little harder to run. But yeah, I did offer to bring everyone food.
You did.
I got a lovely sandwich out of it.
You took him up on his offer?
Hell yeah!
You were like, I would love a refreshing sandwich.
I thought you were bullshitting.
In the middle of the second movie, just nom.
Yeah, damn.
No, I gave him a sandwich.
Oh, well, nice. I thought there'd be food there.
It was the BDE or Big Dad energy that Justin brings. Like, he texted me like, I'm bringing sandwiches, and it was like this nicely like wrapped sandwich.
You didn't text me.
Thanks, Dad.
You didn't text me that.
I said I.
No, you didn't text me directly and said you're bringing sandwiches. That's all right.
Well, 'cause I was driving Watson.
You snooze, you lose.
I know, dude. Apparently, I'm not by the side of the house. Can't have a sandwich. The fuck?
Well, you go to the new Bev, you can get some White Castle burgers and all this other stuff that send you to the bathroom after like half hour or two.
That's true.
But but it's good to know you could bring in. Did you bring it in a satchel, or did you bring the sandwiches?
I quadoed it. I had it under my shirt.
Technically, it's not allowed, but they're pretty loose, especially when it comes to the marathons.
What Daddy Egyptian don't know won't hurt.
Can you fit a sandwich in your pocket, Watson?
Well, the last Ghibli marathon I went to with 4 films,
it was extra warm.
I rushed to get some McDonald's, and I had a bag of McDonald's and a large smoothie, and they still let me in. So they're pretty chill.
They're a little lax.
Yeah, I get that. They get it. Plus, I don't have any real food.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool to do. It was my first time seeing all those movies as well. I hope they continue so I could make my way through the rest of their filmography.
I'll definitely check it out.
Are you going to see anything this coming weekend or anything coming out recently that's coming out that you're excited about? I broke him. Sorry.
You did.
You guys, you want to...
Well, I know he's trying to see Dune in the Dolby. He did mention that.
Well, I was thinking about it,
Dune in the Dolby.
I'll probably watch Kung Fu Panda 4 in the morning.
Yeah,
nice.
I could take my kids
in the morning.
Yeah, like a 10 a.m. showtime.
Jesus. Wait, what day is this?
Probably Saturday.
No thanks.
Saturday?
Well,
you could treat it like a Saturday morning cartoon, I guess.
There's going to be a lot of kids that...
But can I bring a bowl of cereal?
That's the real question.
You put it in your shirt. You could quado it.
They would make a killing if they served cereal in the movie theaters.
But the milk would get everywhere. Ugh.
Yeah.
So that Love Lies Bleeding. That's like Christian Stewart.
I'm excited for that one.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot coming up. Michael Keaton's like second directorial film.
I heard about that. That looks good.
Yeah. He's got Alzheimer's.
Not this next week, but the one after.
Yeah.
And then of course, like later on, there's more larger stuff, but the rest is more indie that I probably.
How about you guys? You guys got anything coming up that you're excited about?
Mainly Ghostbusters.
Yeah. We got tickets for the 21st of March for that.
I'm gonna hop on and get a ticket.
Better hurry up, man. They probably already sold out.
Special screening with
Don't push me, dude. Don't push me, dude. I got the
friends of the podcast, LA Ghostbusters, right?
Yes,
They're gonna be hosting it.
Yep.
That should be fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Are you gonna? Well, you can't.
Oh, you can't make it
because I was saying you should wear your.
I
proton
would.
pack.
I mean, like I gotta check my work schedule. It's the whole thing. Because
you're gonna wear yours.
Do it.
I mean, mine's homemade. It's all janky.
Whatever.
You're gonna have to get the second seat next to you, though, so you can take the pack off.
Yeah.
You're just gonna be like,
I could take the pack, huh? Yeah.
What are your guys' expectations for that movie?
I mean, I think I don't want to say that they're gonna mess it up because they did. I think the great thing about this, the people who are in charge of this movie, of this film series, understand that fans love this, and this is a huge part of their lives, and they've been dedicated for it since they were children, and they respect that. So, Ghostbusters, 2013, 2014, whatever that is.
Oh, the last one?
Yeah, the one that with Kristen Wiig in it.
2016.
2016. Yeah. That kind of like, it seems like that. I'm not shitting on it, but I mean, just like it seems like they just we're gonna do our own thing, and the fans can accept it or not. It seems like that mentality, and that doesn't always work. But with this film series, they're like, well, the fans want to see this, and they want a direct link to the original Ghostbusters, which is in their minds they are the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
No one else, and so no one's ever gonna replace them. So I have good feelings that I have a feeling they're gonna do good things with this.
Yeah, I feel like they were really smart with Afterlife. Leaving New York and kind of retelling the whole kind of not the origin story, but just kind of like reminding everyone where it was very much like
Force Awakens,
very Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for this one because they've laid all that road now. So now it's like we can just jump right in. We don't have to introduce these characters again. We can just kind of jump into a fun story, and hearing more and more how this is more inspired by like the real Ghostbusters cartoon. Which I don't know if Justin, if you ever seen an episode of that, because you were.
It's the 80s.
I wasn't alive when it came out, but I've heard about it.
Fuck up, Justin.
No, but I mean that show was fantastic, and I think we've all raved about it and how it took the stuff for a Saturday morning cartoon. It took stuff very seriously. Yes. There was risk. There was
a lot of creepy storylines,
creepy stuff,
creepy ghosts. Yeah,
and it looks more and more like we're getting that. It looks like real stakes is involved in this movie. So
for me, it's just I haven't seen the real Ghostbusters series. So like for me, like the first two are kind of like more heavy on, like more of a comedy. Yeah, so it's a little weird. This feels more like a blockbuster epic.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
I mean, I'm sure this one's gonna have more comedy than. I mean, Afterlife. I feel like there was not a lot of comedy involved.
It's very subtle,
because they were dealing with like the death of Egon, and there was a lot of that. So I feel like we're gonna get more comedy. I mean, especially with the cast, you've got like Camille Nanjiani in there. You've got Patton Oswalt. The James Acaster. These are all great comedians.
Well, and just having a respect for the original characters. That's important.
Well, I think the Afterlife, the town that they were in was a character itself, and thus when they're coming back to New York, that's a character of its own. Where, as you've seen in 2, where it's like everyone has a right to be an asshole and stuff like that. Yeah. So you're gonna get that kind of
it's New York, baby.
It's New York, yeah.
I'm also glad they're just moving away from Zool.
Yeah.
Well, no, and that
I like Zool, but It's time to move away.
Well, that's the thing, because like I recently was looking at Ghostbusters 2 stuff, and I didn't realize that the Scoleri brothers were guys in suits. Like I thought it was puppetry and just CG mixed together. But I was like, oh, they made and those. If you look at the pictures of the suits, those are just so creepy alone. So it's like I think it's coming to fruition in this new movie where the ice deity or whatever. It looks a little more physical than what you would see from the other ghosts. And
it looks like we're getting a few callbacks. Obviously Slimer's back.
Yeah.
In the
although I'm disappointed they shrunk him back to Ghostbusters 1. I wanted him to be big like in 2. Because he got bigger, and I was like, oh, I'm fine with it. I was cool with it.
Well, he's on a diet. No. But and then we're gonna. Looks like from the trailer we're gonna see the library ghost. Is back. So I think there's going to be little things peppered in, but not like we're not going to have the Zool or like, oh, it's Vigo all along. I feel like they're definitely going to try and do their own thing.
Do you think we're going to have Dana, though? Because we have not seen her in any trailer, but she was at the post-credits of the Afterlife.
Possibly, because, I mean, I haven't seen
I didn't hear about her coming back, so
that's a good question.
Do you think Rick Moranis might make an appearance
I
would
love it,
but
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Well, I think he's pretty much retired.
He's back in acting now because he's doing Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
He said if the script is good, he would but he wouldn't want to do a cameo. So
I think he might be back, and they're keeping it really under wraps.
I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
But I do hope.
Because we get Annie Potts, we get Janine back.
Yeah,
I'm excited about in the suit.
In the suit, yeah.
I do. That's straight up from real Ghostbusters.
Yep, that's right.
I do hope they give us an intro like we got with 1 and 2, where like something creepy happens and then the Ghostbuster logo and the music hits, because we didn't get that in Afterlife.
That's true.
And I was like, oh man, I really want. And you heard it at the end when they're going back to New York. But I was like, I really want them to hit that in the beginning of the film to really just ramp it up. But,
seriously.
But I'm not sure if they'll take that route, but I really hope they do, because
we'll find out soon enough.
Because I'm like, if you don't use the song, I'm like, Also, do you guys think there's going to be, because like in Ghostbusters 2 there was a Run DMC cover of Ghostbusters theme song. So do you think there's going to be a new? Because I wasn't a fan of the one they did for the Kristen Wiig, the 2016.
It was,
I forget who did it, but it was not good. It was like, it Missy Elliott?
No, it was
somebody.
Fuck me, sideways. Oh shit.
I don't remember, but I
hear it in my head. It's Fall Out Boy did it. Fall Out Boy did it.
That was terrible. It was bad.
It was bad.
So is this one gonna be The Weeknd? Be like,
who is
something strange in the
Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish.
Bring back the 80s rap that sum up the plot of the movie.
Yep.
I want that at the end of the movie.
It'll be Machine Gun Kelly.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I do think Billie Eilish for back to Oscars for Best Song.
Of course.
I think that Barbie song will likely be the one pick.
Yeah.
Though I personally I'm just Ken Moore. But
I mean, they should have got Randy Newman to sing the Barbie song.
How would that sound?
We are in Barbie land. We know how to sing hand in hand, but we got.
Holy shit!
I love it. Oh
yeah.
But I love that like everything old is new again. You know, this week we're gonna get the new version of Roadhouse is gonna be on Amazon.
Yeah, that's
we'll see how that goes with Jake Gyllenhaal. I think it's coming out this weekend. But
I was hoping they'd do a special screening, but I haven't heard anything.
Jesse won't watch it unless it's on projected 70 millimeters. But that between that and Ghostbusters, I'm like, the 80s are back, baby.
Everything's plastic and everything's fantastic.
Is it still Barbie?
Yeah.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
I recently, just real quick before we go out, I recently watched Land of Bad. Which was a movie starring Russell Crowe and
Hemsworth,
yeah,
and
exactly.
It's a double Hemsworth handful.
Yeah,
the Hemsworth brothers.
the Hemsworth brothers.
Not the one you're thinking of.
Nope. This
is a Luke.
The new Witcher.
Luke and Liam.
Yeah,
Luke and Liam.
Yeah, Liam Hemsworth and Russell Crowe are in it. Luke is in it as well. The movie, you saw it too, right, Justin?
Yep, I took my dad that one.
Yeah, did you like it?
Yep, he enjoyed it.
I mean, it's
BDE, Big Dad Energy.
there you go. The movie is about a group of special forces Delta operators who were dropped off in some unnamed country to recover a CIA asset, and things go bad from there.
It sounds like Predator.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Predator in this?
And it becomes a land of bad for them.
Oh,
land
the land of bad
yes.
is not really sad, but
Yeah. All right, go on.
It's like they have a map that says land of bad, then they turn around. It's like bad land.
Oh no.
bad land.
Bruce Springsteen song.
Yeah. Did you like it, Justin?
I thought it was decent. Like, it's a lot of like you could tell like Russell Crowe is in his own set, and then Liam Hemsworth in his own place. Yeah.
Well, they're literally in different places.
They have some fun with it. It's a lot of like walking around and stuff. Yeah. But I think
did they ever film on the same day? You think, or it was just like
no? I don't think so at all.
The
pickups.
the action I thought was done well. Liam Hemsworth doesn't stay dirty for too long. They always make sure to rinse him off to show those abs.
Get that shirt off.
Definitely, he has a shirt off a lot in this movie.
But there's some good fights. They have some fun with the Russell Crowe character.
Yeah.
During the climax. I don't do.
Go ahead, spoil it.
Okay,
yeah, go for it.
It's cutting back and forth between like Liam's Hemsworth and like a terrible firefight and trying to call Russell Crowe, and Russell Crowe trying to find vegan food items for his wife in a grocery store.
Like a Whole Foods. Yeah.
And it's cutting back and forth, and he's like, is this right? And then it comes back to gunfire. So like,
what happens
now I have to see this movie.
That sounds amazing.
So what happens is the Special Forces group runs into, they're supposed to get a CIA asset. They run into, I think it's supposed to take place, they have Abu Sayyaf, which is like a terrorist group, a real terrorist group like in the Philippines. So maybe it's somewhere in the Philippines. But they get obviously overwhelmed by these guys because there's thousands of them, and just like many action movies, they just kind of just cut through tons and tons of bad guys, right? So there's a lot of firefights. They get captured like twice, which is weird. They get captured once. One of Liam Hemsworth gets captured. Mm-hmm. Then his other team member, played by Milo Ventimiglia. I always mess his name up.
Ventimiglia?
Yeah. He from Heroes. I'm sorry, Ventimiglia. I messed up his name again. I'm sorry. Milo. He rescues him. Then he gets captured again. And what Justin was talking about, the final scene where Russell Crowe's walking around a grocery store, is he's trying to stop an airstrike from hitting their location that has been called in, and he is trying to get to a phone. Oh. And there's a whole background thing where Russell Crowe's character's wife is expected to go into labor that night, but he has to work, and he asks the airmen at the base, like, hey, they're going to call me on this phone. Calls. Yeah, they're going to call me on this phone that's in the middle of this like rec center, this rec room, and everybody's, because it's March Madness, so everybody's watching the final, like, what is exactly. So the airmen are all watching, including the colonel who's in charge of the base. This unit, and they're all watching
this operation. Why
this very like Black Ops mission is going on, and at least 2 guys have been killed already.
As a military expert,
and
how do you find that?
And so they're all like in the middle of this game, watching, like they're cheering, and of course the phone is off the hook because somebody took it off the hook because they were getting bothered during their basketball game of this phone ringing, and and Liam Hemsworth is trying to call off the airstrike because he doesn't have the number. I guess there's no phone in the operations room where Russell Crowe works, Russell Crowe, he's in charge of the drone, the Predator drone that's flying around.
Yeah, the only phone is in the general, like, I guess
it's like
living
rec hall
space or whatever.
It's like a rec room.
And Basically, the only people who care seem to be Russell Crowe and then like his partner. I forget her name.
His sergeant.
And then like the rest of the crew, including like his upper man,
including the colonel who's supposed to be in charge of the unit.
Multiple days they watch different basketball games, and then like Russell's like, please, I need to know if my wife calls or whatever, or I need this phone.
And every time he walks into like this day room, the phone is off the hook.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
it's like Sam Jackson and Argyle just watching basketball games.
Yeah. It's
Well, who does Luke Hemsworth play? Is he like on the same team, or is he a bad guy?
He plays one of the Delta Force operators.
Okay, but they're not like related in the movie.
Not in the movie. They're not related.
That's funny.
But
he's part of the four people.
Yeah, there's a lot that's off about this movie, but
Luke Hemsworth is special because he's not like the others. He's
so Luke, Liam Hemsworth. Liam Hemsworth he's the JTech, which is like Delta is Army, but he's in the Air Force and he is in charge.
He's calling in the strike.
He's supposed to be he's supposed to be like the air traffic control.
Yeah,
basically, the guy who calls in the airstrikes. But in this, he communicates with a drone.
Oh, and he does have a contact with Russell Crowe through the device. I remember, he
has a radio,
and that's why he can't communicate.
He has a radio, which obviously he would, but the batteries run out, and then eventually he has to contact him on cell phone.
That thing charged.
Yeah,
and they make fun of him. They build a bond as time goes on, but at the beginning they're like, "Oh, you young boy, you don't know what real war is."
Right, exactly. Like but I mean, it's
like a 36-year-old man.
I do have to say it's very beautifully shot. The cinematography was done by Augustine Claremont. I've never heard of him, but it's beautifully shot. It looks amazing. The fight scenes are really well done. The gun battles are very well done.
Explosions look good.
Explosions look great.
Budget film.
Yeah, there is a lot of tension in the movie at many points. Militarily, as far as like the overall, I guess, authenticity of it. I mean, it's a special operations force. Maybe it's the way it's done.
Does it feel like an 80s kind of movie?
It does feel like a very 80s movie because he has his shirt off a lot.
Your Delta Force.
Right.
Which, by the way, speaking of which, just to go back to Shogun, like the one scene where the main guy is like naked, like he's supposed to be starving for weeks on a ship, and then like they bathe him, and he's just like got like ripped. He's just like standing there like full muscle. I was like, he should be a lot skinnier. Yeah, like his whole crew looked like death, and he's just like, I've just done P90X all day.
Yeah, exactly.
Liam's chiseled in this one.
Yes,
he's
very chiseled.
Witcher shape.
Yeah, but he's not one of the Delta guys, so he's more of a. It seems like it was just more like a hey you kind of detail he got put on, like hey we need a JTAC to come with us. So he's not as trained as the other three who are Delta operators, and I still recommend the movie. It's still very beautifully shot. It's still it definitely is a throwback to like you were saying, like the 80s, 90s action movies where it's just like
Navy SEAls. With,
it's just like it's just these guys are just like powering through everything, which is but they still get their ass kicked a lot, so they still kind of suffer, and they're not superhuman, but so I still liked it a lot, and I still recommend it. So
all right on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
what was the budget on that? Do you know?
On this, it was. Let me look it up right here. It was $18.7 million. So they're still doing I like that they're doing these like $25 million and under movies. Yeah. That are just they're just solid action films. We had Extraction, talking one of the Hemsworth brothers. We had Extraction. I think both of them went for like under $25 million. So and they're solid action movies.
Yeah.
And this movie's a solid action film. So it was good.
Right on.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then Watson, you recently saw Airbender.
Oh yeah, the last Airbender, the Avatar series,
live action.
The live action, not the movie.
Live action series.
Live action series. Fantastically done. Very well cast. I mean, like. I love the anime. I mean, it's not even an anime, sorry, because it's not
cartoon.
It's a cartoon, an anime styled cartoon. But I was a big fan of the 3 seasons of that, and the Legend of Korra show that followed that. I think they learned a lot. I'd put this right up there with your One Piece live action. in terms of like it just looked really good.
Nice.
The money is right there on the screen. The cast is phenomenal. They're all very young actors, but you don't get a sense of like, you know, like you always go, oh, this is gonna get annoying. These characters are gonna get annoying. You know, I was a young boy like who's playing Aang. Because Aang in the cartoon is that very like upbeat, uplifted kind of character. And you don't get a sense of that changing with this, but it doesn't get annoying. They do a really good job, I think, and all the bending effects look great. Like, you know, the fact that they're doing all this like kata to produce flame and stuff like that. It looks phenomenal. It was a really good show. Really loved it.
Nice, man.
And they just announced they're getting a second and third season.
Okay.
So apparently people are liking it. They're digging it. And
nice. For
Netflix, you never know with these shows. Like that's the problem. Is like
they may cancel tomorrow. Yeah. Even though it's doing stellar.
Cowboy Bebop. You know, fell because of that. And you know, I loved One Piece. We all loved One Piece. So hopefully, you know, I know that's getting a second season, but you know, hopefully, I mean, there's 1,000 episodes of that show, so who knows if they'll get that far. But but no, I really dug it. I think it's really well done. The effects are great. Where you know you've got like this giant air bison Appa, and it looks really stellar.
Awesome.
Like,
Okay, good, man. I'm glad they're because I know the last movie everybody hated on.
It's rough. Yeah. It's really rough to watch.
I saw that in theaters.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you watch the cartoon before then?
Yep.
So
I was alive during
really
the cartoon.
So you did watch TV, you son of
a liar.
He was 10. No, but that must have been really disappointing to watch the movie.
Well, I was still young when the movie came out. I think I just remember thinking it was okay, and then like for some reason, I think I was surprised that it only covered the first book. Which now I would go in knowing, this isn't going to cover every single.
The Netflix show, I think it's 8 episodes.
But is it like, because I didn't like the Lion King live action remake, quote live action. Because it was basically the same thing as the original, but just new animation. So is this like that, where it's just the same thing but live action?
It's not the same thing. It's not like a 1-for-1 remake, but it's same enough to keep people happy. Like it's the same, like kind of like with One Piece, where they have enough of the original there to keep you keep the fans into it, but they change certain aspects of it to kind of make it its own thing. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
So, but I recommend it.
Recommend?
Yeah,
cool.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And one last thing before we go, I just wanted to touch on The Ones Who Live, which is the latest spin-off Walking Dead series.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about this if you've been watching it.
Yeah, which is, I saw the first episode, which is, and for those of you who don't know, the main character, Rick Grimes, is...
They finally do the thing.
Yeah. He's finally back. Him and Michonne, they finally link up. Spoilers. At the end of the show, we see them finally find each other after being separated for 6 years.
Yeah, which I thought they were going to keep them apart for more than just the first episode.
Right. So, I mean, I guess that would have worked too, but I guess fans probably would really pissed off because
they just spent most of the season trying to find.
Because anybody who's followed this long, like me,
yeah,
is a hardcore fan.
Yeah,
you're
it's
just
it.
Most I think unfortunately, Walking Dead lost most of its audience a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I've been with it since the comic book, when it was first a comic book and before it got picked up as a TV show. So it's I was glad to see them together. I've always liked the two characters together. I mean, I probably would have done the show a little differently. I would have probably written it a little differently. It's basically Rick Grimes has been stuck with the CRM, which is the military of these three cities that are kind of like the last functioning government in the United States after the zombie apocalypse. And they have a formidable military, and they basically have him as a prisoner for a long time. We don't really get a lot of backstory in this episode of why they took him and where he's been these last, almost going on 7 years now in this universe. And we finally get to see what Rick's been up to, and he's finally recruited into the military. He tries to escape a couple times, but He always gets captured. Spoilers again. He cuts off his hand, trying to escape. Yeah. Which is something that happened to the character in the comic book a long time ago. Which was weird because Rick Berman has said, or not Rick Berman.
Star Trek's Rick Berman.
Yeah, Star Trek. Yeah.
Rick Dalton.
Yeah, Rick Dalton.
Roadhouse.
The creator of the show has said that he is not pleased with that. He should not have done that.
Oh, in the books?
Yeah, Robert Kirkman, excuse me, has said that he regrets doing that because it became a problem later on writing stories. Right. And so when they did this in the series, I was like, that's kind of strange. I thought that Robert Kirkman was against that. He's not one of the showrunners or anything. I think he's still an executive producer on it. But, it's just that was kind of strange when I first saw that. I was like, all right, that's going to create problems in the future with writing stories, but okay.
Well, it doesn't look like, they immediately, put a fake, they give him a fake hand.
They gave him a fake hand. It's got a pop out knife on it. So so I guess it has some practicality. But I guess they did it because they wanted to show how desperate he was to get away from this organization because he's trying to get back to his wife, who's Michonne. He's trying to get back to his daughter. They have a kid together.
Does he know about the daughter?
He knows about the daughter. I don't recall if he knows about his son.
Right.
Because I think Michonne was pregnant after he disappeared. She found out she was pregnant right after he disappeared. So
just quickly, can you explain why he cut his hand off?
So he's with the CRM, this Civil Republic military, and he was put on a work detail to go clear infected in the woods, and he's basically on a leash. He's attached to one of the CRM soldiers through this leash that's on the CRM soldier's belt, and is wrapped around his hand. So because he's tried to escape so many times, now they got him literally on a leash. So as he's running into the woods clearing infected, he has an axe, and these infected are on fire because it was like a forest fire. So he kind of disinfects and gets the axe very hot in this infected's body that's on fire. Yeah.
That'll kill the zombie.
Yeah, exactly. And then he says to himself, this is the only way that I can get away. That's all he says. But it's the only way he can get away. And he cuts his hand off, and then he tries to get away and is not successful because he gets tased. So that's again I don't know.
Dummy.
Yeah, it's just they wrote it like that, but his sacrifice is immediately null and void.
Yeah.
So I was like, they probably should have had him do that towards the end of the show,
or
towards the end of the not the end of the show, but the end of the episode where he finally gets away, and it's but now his sacrifice actually means something. He cut off his hand, and it means something. So
because in the comic, the governor cuts it off as a punishment.
Correct. Yeah, as a warning to him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's more powerful that way. You could have had someone else do it, I guess, but he could have got bit and cut it off.
Something like that.
Kind of did with
I was cool with him. It shows his desperation trying to get away from this place because he's been trying for years and he knows he's losing time. He doesn't even know his family's still alive.
Coyote in a trap.
Yeah, exactly. So I was okay with that, but then again, his sacrifice is immediately just null and void because lately we've been having this thing with our main characters being kind of humiliated, and they kind of humiliated Rick because as he's running away, he gets tased in the back and he just flops over so ridiculously, and it's just come on, I probably would have saved that for a moment where he actually does get away because then it means something.
So who's watching Michonne's kids?
So they're back in the community at not the hilltop, Alexandria. Is the name of the community where they're at and where Michonne was kind of in charge, and she left her kids with the community to go find in the series. She found some evidence that Rick is still alive, and she took off to find him.
Right.
I think in reality, the actress who plays Michonne needed to move on and work on other things. She was on
Black Panther.
Black Panther. Yeah. So that's probably why she wanted to move on and do other things. But she agreed to come back for this show to kind of wrap up the Rick and Michonne storyline.
Gotcha.
So now they're back, and I don't know if this is going to get any more seasons. It doesn't seem like it will. Maybe they're just going to give one big season of what's happens.
Right. I heard it was a limited thing.
Yeah, and then move on. We got Daryl Dixon. He's got his own show, and he's over in France. That's definitely going to get another season. It seems. because he's trying to go a little longer.
Are they still doing the Maggie Negan show as well?
That I think that's maybe a one shot as well. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't finish that because it was kind of like.
And you call yourself a fan?
It was kind of like I never.
How dare you not watch the 6 spin-off shows?
Yeah, I never really cared for Negan as much. Not the way he's portrayed in this series. Right. It was okay done. It was all right, but it wasn't great. Maggie was, she's there. It's okay. Like those two characters were not. I care about Rick, Michonne, and Daryl, and they got their own show. And Maggie and Negan. Hey, yeah,
Le Zombie.
Whatever happens to them, great. I hope they're okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what happens to them.
Wasn't Rick supposed to get like 2 movies? Is this what
Rick was supposed to get
now?
3 movies?
Oh.
The Walking Dead, his storyline was supposed to be turned into 3 movies.
They just made this show out of it.
Yeah, and then they just made the show.
Oh,
I think what happened was that the writers kind of wrote themselves in a corner with the 6-year gap because how do you explain that?
Yeah.
It's very tough. You know, that's 6 years is a long time. So how do you explain why he's been gone? And this is Rick, who would do anything to get back to his family.
Right.
But he hasn't been able to in 6 years. It seems a little strange.
Well, I feel like when they set up that idea of doing multiple movies, this was back when like Walking Dead was like season 8, right? So I feel like since then the popularity has definitely declined. Yeah. People have gotten a little bit more, weary of it. So I think let's just take those 6 scripts, kind of what they did with the Obi-Wan show,
right?
And instead of doing a movie, we'll make a show out of it.
Yeah, I mean I wasn't entirely convinced because, again, this is Rick, who we've all rooted for many years, who we think can do anything, who has survived so much, and he's kind of just not given up while he's been part of the CRM, but he certainly has wasted a lot of time. Again, it's pointed out he's tried to escape many times, and that's why he's kind of like on this like shit detail that they've got him on. But it just seems like he's just kind of on the shit detail just because he's tried to escape. And there's a CRM soldier who really believes in him for some reason. It's not ever really made clear why he thinks that Rick is so special. Just like, hey, you're Rick Grimes. You're a great guy, even though I don't know you as well.
Does it kind of feel like because The Last of Us was such a big hit, they're kind of like saw the success, and that was like, well, that kind of worked with Pedro Pascal's character. Like, and they're kind of
maybe, but
vibing off that.
I think this was done as Last of Us was being made as well, so it doesn't seem like
they weren't watching that.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're excited that Last of Us has done so well because people are still interested in the post-apocalyptic kind of zombie genre, you know. So I think they're excited about that, and I think they're banking off of that to have this be successful. I don't know if it's going to work because, again, a lot of people are kind of weary of Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And again, it's just it seems like Rick has accepted things too easily in this. It's just he's like, well, yeah, I've tried to escape. I cut my hand off. Now they want me to be part of CRM military. Sure, I'm part of the CRM. Yeah, sure, I'm part of the military now. The whole time you're like, Rick, you still have two kid, kids, at least 2 kids, at least a kid that he knows about, and a wife out there, and a whole community that has no idea where you are for the last 6 years. Why aren't you more anxious? There's no.
He's very road weary.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any type of severity with him to get back to his community. He's just kind of like, well, I tried, and now I'm in the CRM military. I'm still going to try. He still tries to get away within. He still is plotting.
He's still like the ultimate survivor.
Yeah. He's still plotting to get away within this. After he joins the military, but he just kind of like is. Part of him just seems like he's accepted his fate, which is not something that the old Rick Grimes we knew would have done.
Right.
So I mean, I wouldn't have written it this way. I would have written it that just like before Rick goes, when they took him, he had just blown up this bridge that was all these zombies were on, and he fired a gun that set off explosives and saved the community, but he was injured in the blast, and this CRM helicopter came and got him. He was injured. I would have had him. He's in the hospital. He tries to escape. He kills one of the CRM people. So they throw him on a real shit detail. Like we don't really give a fuck about you.
Right.
Whatever happens to you happens to you. And he's eventually recruited to go and get a vaccine in France because the last time in the first season of The Walking Dead, they ran to this doctor of the CDC called Jenner, who said the French were the last ones to stop working.
Right.
Meanwhile, Daryl Dixon's in France as well, who just happened to get blown over there in a storm. on the ship he was.
Oh, he didn't even like mean to go over there?
No, he didn't. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. I thought that they were going to do it. I thought that's what they were going to do. They're going to have send Rick, because they know he's resourceful, to go get this guy in France.
Right.
And it takes a while there because they can't fly anymore. And I thought that Daryl would have found out that he went to France, so I'm going to go and try and find Rick too. And no, he just happened to get blown over there in a ship that he was on, that he got captured.
Eesh.
That he got captured and ended up on the ship that ended up getting blown off course and gets sent to France. It's just like, okay, all right. The Dixon show is still good. I think Norman Reedus carries that character so well. He does that character so well, so he carries the entire show. And it's got a stereo class.
Please tell me he's on like a little Vespa or something going through France. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be pretty dope, though.
He doesn't find a nice, badass.
But the cool thing about that show is that it's shot on location. It's shot in France, so everything looks medieval and old. And even the characters have like blunderbusses, like these old shotguns, like these old 1600.
All the zombies are just smoking, just
blue cheese.
But I'm gonna keep checking out. I'm gonna keep
of all the cheeses.
I'm gonna keep checking out The Ones Who Live. So I recommend it. Yeah,
right on.
Did Mr. Grimes lose his left hand or his right?
He lost his left. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we know he's a righty. I don't know.
Exactly. And Chad was just sitting there the whole time I was sitting there, just like half asleep.
Yep. He's just saying,
Wake up,
coming
Chad.
up with that righty joke.
Wake up, Chad.
It's like that's why I cracked open this Coke Zero, brought to you by Coke Zero, the drink that keeps you moving.
We're sponsored by Pepsi.
The drink of choice.
Is that a fun size can?
Yes, it is.
No, Chad's just got big hands.
It's huge hands.
I am a giant.
With that, does anybody else anything to add to the discussion?
No, just
Are you
Shane was right.
What?
Shane was right the whole time.
About in Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of was. In the
Like
end,
you had to be an asshole.
in the end, he was. And that's what Rick ended up becoming.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to promote, Justin?
You on the letterbox yet? You got stuff going
your
on?
letterbox.
Oh,
Should we be checking out your reviews?
I have Letterbox. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What is it?
Any
Promote,
5 stars?
It's Justin _time_ with Justin and time both being capitalized.
Boom.
The first letter. I've been planning to make like audio or video reviews on YouTube, and I bought all the equipment last year in December, but still haven't done that. But once I get that going, I'll let you know.
Well, yeah, and we'll definitely promote it on the show. We'll have you be our own very own Mr. Skin.
That's right.
But yeah, it's funny, all this talk about Walking Dead. I never watched any, but I remember back in middle school hearing people talk about it. So.
Sure, man.
How old do you feel now, Stan?
That came out in 2010. And you were in middle school in 2010?
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself, dude.
I think Walking Dead, at some point they're going to start running, right?
They're climbing buildings now, the zombies.
What?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
The parkour dead.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That should have been the name of the spin-offs. Just replace the walking with different words.
The shambling,
the running dead, the climbing
The
dead.
deteriorating.
I know. Well, you think by now, like their muscles would have atrophied. And,
well, they show in the show that older zombies are
Yeah.
falling apart. Yeah.
I remember when we were zombies back in middle school.
The rascaling dead.
That'd be great.
Well, there was a movie called Cooties with like Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood.
Lupita Nyong'o's in there, right?
I think you're thinking of a different movie.
She's in another
something
zombie
monsters, maybe.
Yeah. No, that's right. The
Little
monsters.
Little
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of zombie stuff out there, but what is
The Rambling Dead is what Chad is
I
working
think
on.
Chad is trying to take us out.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Well, thank you guys for listening to another episode of Enter the Nerdom.
If you're still listening.
If you're still listening. Yes, if you're not already, hopefully you already are, obviously, listen, like and subscribe on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
That's right.
And keep on listening. Keep on. What rhymes with listening?
Anything. I don't know.
Jesus, really, you're not.
What?
I was like, what rhymes with listening? I was trying to rhyme something with listening.
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 Listening. We're just making words up, goddamn.
Yeah.
Christening.
Christening.
Sure. Well, now I lost the train of thought.
There you go.
All right.
But just rate
It's
and
late,
review
guys.
us.
It's 11 o'clock at night.
Yes.
We're tired.
Don't forget to rate and review write some comments.
Yeah.
And we'll read them out if we get some comments, or if we get some good reviews, we might read
Send
those
us
out.
some pictures of your Dune 2 bucket cup,
God.
popcorn
Not
bucket.
used.
Right.
Not used. Fresh and clean, please,
Yes,
you dirty
please.
boys.
And as we always say here, enter the Nerdom, exit the Oscar race for supremacy. What?
Oh.
That was this guys, you're putting the wrong thing on supremacy. Born Supremacy? Have you not seen Born Supremacy? So
I
fuck
got
you.
some Oscars. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it should have. Jeez.